Trying to keep
Hey,
up with you guys. Hi, I'm just going to go really quick on the Wife School podcast. I am on all platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I talk about femininity and advocate for men as well because they need to know that we support them. Um, Also, Wife School is about a school of thought about being a wife before you get married. So let's just make that clear because a lot of people get it a little twisted sometimes, but it's okay. But I'm glad to be here to see what's going to transpire with the topics and the discussions.
yes, thank you, Queen. And I didn't know it was this many people in here. It is two of me. But I'll shout y'all out in a minute. There's a couple people here. Okay, next up we have Jam, the Queen Jam. I know you're new to this. I will make sure you come all the time, Jam. Please introduce yourself where they can find you, regardless of what platform it's on.
Well, thank you. My name is Jam, and I can only be found on Instagram, and I'm Jam there too. It's J with eight A's and one M, all the dramatics included. um, I don't really know what to say about myself. I'm just here to teach, talk some shit, and learn a little bit. That's about it.
Yes, yes.
Bam. Bam Jam.
Thank you for the welcome, ladies.
All right, all right. And last but not least, we have the Queen Chocolate Earth. Please tell her who you are and where we can find you, Queen. Chocolate, you still here, Queen?
I'm here. I didn't know it was my turn. I'm sorry. Okay, now listen. I'm here for evolution and the ladies. This is not the sweet chocolate that you think I am. I'm here to talk that shit, that real shit. So let's go.
Yes.
Gloves is off today.
Oh,
Oh
Much
my.
love, ladies. Let's do this. I'm excited. I'm excited and I'm honored because I know how hard it is out here as a Black woman being a content creator, especially in a Black space. It's hard. So I commend all of you for following what you like, what you're passionate about, and not letting anyone, male or female, tell you who you are. So that's why I'm here. Let's go.
Love it. I love it.
I want to share
yes.
something too with you guys because I feel so much love here, right? You can't deny it. But I just want to share something. Praise to the Black woman for real, for real. Um, my ancestors, the whole world was Black at one point, okay? But what I think I need to remember as well in this shared experience that there's some things that I did not experience that my sisters have gone through. And so I never want to take away from that experience and I want to give them all their flowers. So when they're talking Black women, I'm talking about all of you guys on here. And I love you deeply. I mean that. And it's not weird because if motherfuckers can say they hate or H word somebody, I can love you for no reason.
Right, right. I respect that.
Come on. Yes, I'm sorry, but
Yes.
yes. If you can do bad, you can do good. If you can be an asshole, you can be decent. Stop pretending like we can't go on the other side, like nobody lives in a peaceful, pleasant life. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we ain't started yet. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, you're on fire. I love this. I love this. Now, uh, this is the point of the show where what we do, and I hope I'm not too out. What we do is we've had like predetermined topics already, right? So what I've been doing for the last 2 to 3 shows is I just picked one that we talked about when we had like the first meeting when we sat, we just talked to each other and we just wanted to talk about what Black women um wanted to talk about, what they thought about certain things, wanted to address, when they wanted to put out to the world, right? So this is what I love doing this. Okay. And this was one of the topics. Here we go. We are talking about tonight. Side chicks, boyfriend number twos. Y'all know what that is. And trauma bonding. Now, this came up in a couple of different ways. And even myself, I have a crazy story about this, right? Uh, and what I wanted to do, I guess, just starting it out, because I had people sending me clips and stuff. One of the clips was really interesting. I'm gonna get that on soon. I want to ask you, ladies, like before I give the trauma bonding, the definition. What is trauma bonding to you, ladies? Whoever wants to start.
Well, just to kick it off, trauma bonding is basically what we have in common, what our relationship is based on, is the traumas that we've been through. Um, and people do that all the time. You have, people who have been abused or treated badly or whatever the case may be. Another person can be in the same situation and y'all bond over that. It happens all the time. It happens when there's deaths or relationships or something tragic happens. You usually end up trauma bonding with somebody. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then that may be used in a positive or negative way. But unfortunately, it's more negative than positive because you realize there's nothing else between y'all. Or you realize that they're using the trauma bond to keep you with them. So there you go.
An example of that would be why they make the rule in AA that you're not supposed to date each other. You're meeting in this space
Right.
that's supposed to be,
Great
it would just be a
example.
volatile situation. So yeah, thank you.
I get it. Okay. Okay. Now that was good. Now, if anybody else, because I want to ask you another question, right? If anybody else want to go, just let me know. Just jump on out there. What does trauma bonding mean as a Black woman? Like, does it have a significant part of your
I
life?
think with trauma bonding as a Black woman, I think that just in my personal opinion, it's just getting comfortable with the things that may excuse your behavior. Like if you've had a bad instance in life, you can relate to another person or people that have had those same things, but rather than encouraging or finding solutions on how we can come out of the bonding is solely just the trauma that we've been through.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Y'all are killing this. Um, okay, there's some questions I want to ask, right? Because y'all killed it. Y'all kind of took.
Just ask away, sis. Ask away.
Okay, now I have. So we're gonna come back to trauma bonding, but that's pretty much the focal point. I want to get into because I found some really really interesting videos on side chicks, right? But when I had said something about boyfriend number twos, um, people didn't kind of understand what I was talking about, But shout out to Pleasure P because there is a whole song about it. It was actually one of my favorite songs. Um, and
It's
I
like
want
having a pair and a spare. That's what my grandmother told me. You don't settle with one. You ain't married. You need at least three on deck. I'm just saying. I think
I
that's what
don't
you
I
mean.
don't believe in
I'm just saying that.
yeah,
I
it
don't believe
makes
in either concept. I think that unless you have that kind of arrangement, there's an integrity issue and then there's a conflict for me. So you know, the basic principle, it creates secrets, which is a lie, and I don't do lies. I that's just like it's either a conversation or just no. There's no for once I have a black and white area. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself.
I believe the way you start something is the way it probably might end. So if you have this roster to start, you're gonna have that same roster when it ends. It's like, are you all in or are you 1 foot or 1 foot out? So I believe that you should try to, as best as possible, narrow down your
That I
choice.
disagree.
You,
That
you
I
know,
would disagree with because that means that I'm already predetermined to accept that there's growth. And if I meet somebody that has a roster and, we've moved through a commitment, that roster would fall away. I would never just
I'm talking
assume it
about
was
the
still
woman.
there.
I'm not talking about a man. I'm talking about you. She said have a
I
pair
I,
and a pair. I'm talking about the woman, not the man.
Yeah, I'm
I
saying
say
that, and
people though.
yeah, yeah, I get exactly what you ladies are saying, and don't get me wrong. I think
Mhm.
that monogamy is fantastic. If you find somebody you want to be with, I have attention deficit syndrome, so that means I gotta have different men to keep my mind busy. No, I'm just playing.
Oh
I'm
my
just
word. Oh
playing.
my word.
That's all I
I
can
have
I
never I've
I
I'm gonna
get
never
it.
use
had it
that. I'm gonna
explained
use
that
that
way.
next
I've
time.
never
If I
had it
get
explained that
caught,
way.
yes, if I get caught, I'll just say, baby, I have a short attention span. I love you.
I I'm not cheating.
Right. I'm
I'm
not
not
cheating. I'm
distracted.
not
I
cheating.
got distracted.
He my distracted man. That's all he not. That's all.
That
He keep
is
me undistracted.
that is
Okay, this ain't
wrong.
gonna work.
That's
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 relationship is
wrong on
over.
so
I'm
many
just gonna
levels.
say. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Your stuff your stuff will be outside when you got home. No worries. No worries.
Oh,
If he
listen,
wants
hold
to
on.
do it, he can
Here we
go,
go.
right?
So you talk about it's the woman, girl. Listen, I believe in Uber and Lyft. You ain't gotta drive over here, baby. I'm gonna send you right back home. That way, ain't no excuses about what's wrong with your car. You good? Go. Goodbye. Take care. I love you.
I'll give
Sometimes
it
it
Views
is.
expressed on the
yeah.
Yes.
screen are their own.
Yes. Yes. There you go. That's just a point of view. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying how I was raised is different. And plus, when you have a short attention span, men got short attention spans too. So how that's gonna work?
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. So that's why I need more than one. No, I'm just like, okay, let me
Oh
quit
my
before I get in
stars.
trouble.
She'd be like, wait, who's watching? Knowing it's on multiple platforms. She-
Now, you know what I'm gonna ask, right? Because I'm gonna fix this audio issue, so I'm gonna drop down for a minute. But what I want to do is I want to ask the first brave woman. Do you have like a side dude story, or maybe where you got caught, or you got embarrassed, or you handled it like a G? You know, anyone got a story or anything? I got a couple, but until I fix my audio issue, you
I
know what I'm
sure
saying? I
do.
want to make sure y'all good. Go ahead. Who you want to go?
I
You
would
said
like to.
you,
Yeah.
Ruby?
I'd share. Long story short, this is when I was not polyamorous by any means. I was actually in a very seriously monogamous relationship. And so, long story short, once I found out that he had a situation, I didn't get mad. I didn't retaliate by any means. I just pretty much made it known to a couple of people that it was on, and it was on in the fact of we don't even maybe need to do dinner. We can just hang out, smoke a few, and bust a couple. And so, anywho,
oh my.
I did start dating somebody that I
Ruby,
met
you my
online.
best friend. I think you are awesome. Thank you for saying that. Bye bye.
Well, and then so I let's just say this, guys. I what's it called? I stepped out. I started dating this handsome man who I was just like, oh my gosh, he's amazing, right? And he pretty much became that boyfriend, and he pretty much introduced me into, I guess, into like more of a polysexual lifestyle, because it was just that, and so I really respected him, and he helped me to open up my body to myself because I had forgotten who I was in that marriage. I was so deeply depressed, and I was faking it for my children, and I was just lying to myself. So it feels so good to be in a different space.
Okay, and let me say something. I like that. Thank you, Ruby.
Hey,
I
don't
like that.
start nothing. There won't be nothing. Okay.
Yes.
I've never
Mhm.
been a side piece. nor have I ever wanted to entertain a second gentleman. That sounds exhausting. You know, two guys, all these kids, there's really not that many, but anything more than one is too many. It's just no. I'm good. I'm good.
And you know what? Generally speaking, I think there's a difference from one man having three women than one woman having three men. If you take into consideration biology, psychology, and all that, what have you. So there is a difference, and so I agree with you. It wasn't ideal, but because I felt so undernourished and undervalued, I was like, well, who else wants some of this pussy? You know what I'm saying? You can't be the only one not touching this gourmet meal.
I love you,
I
Ruby.
know that's right, Ruby. Where you getting it from if you ain't getting it from here, sir? I got you. I'm with you,
Yeah,
sis. 100%. It's wild out here. Shoot. Dating is
And
like the
now I'm
wild,
very
wild west.
honest. I keep it very open with my partners. Like, if you fuck with me, you have to know what time it is. I'm not going to mislead you. I've already done that already. I've already lied and cried. And I'm probably the most least jealous person that I've ever seen over my own evolution. Shout out to evolution. I love you, girl.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm all into the like starting lineup. Um, but I'm so jealous. It's so amazing that I was able to do 11 years of poly. Cause I don't know. I think it's the Leo in me though. Cause I am like a diehard Leo. And yeah, I don't if it's I feel like it's mine. Yeah. Now if I share it with you, then that's something. But as far as like the going ahead and trying to take it and all that, I'm funny on that. And I turn into a whole lioness when it come to mine. You know, and that could be a flaw.
I I have a similar concept. I definitely do not like to share. Um, I'm adaptable though, right? Because sometimes situations change, mindsets change. So I leave myself open to the possibility of a conversation. Not that I would really want that to be something that happened. I just now realize that having the conversation doesn't mean it's going to happen. So I'm open to it now.
I get it. I definitely get it. I definitely get it.
But
And we got some people in the
make sure
comments
we
shouting us
I
out.
don't share. I don't share. So that's why I led with that. I don't share, you know.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm kind of the same
Selfishness
boat.
first. Selfishness first, rationalization later. But I'm a work in
Unless I'm there to
progress.
watch.
Baha, Baha.
I'm gonna pass on that. I'm
I
gonna
love
pass on
it.
that.
That is just so funny. I I would like to add though too, because I was running my mouth, so I'll tell the story. I was not sleeping with any of the men I was with at the time. I was dating like about I want to say about three, four dudes at the same time.
Huh?
Yeah. So, well, one liked music, one liked sports, the other one was into like, let's go to the museum and all that. And then I had my hood friend who used to come over and we was sitting smoking chill. I am very honest about the fact that if I'm single, I'm single. If I'm with you, I'm with you. Now, in your mind, if you decide I'm your only one, I'm gonna tell you right now that's a bad look. You shouldn't even do that. So what ended up happening was this: somebody got jealous. So I used to go out. When it was fun to do. I used to go out and go dancing. I love to dance. So I
Mm,
would go out all weekend. You have a little social group you run into.
mm, yeah.
So I had brought one of my friends with me, and they was like, "Wait a minute, who is this?" And I was like, "What you mean? Who is this? This my friend." And she was like, "Well, what about dude from Thursday?" And dude looked at me like, "Oh, you got a boyfriend?" I said, "No, he my friend." Yeah, I kicked it with him that day. Like what? So my relationships, I have a tendency to be, I guess I've been accused by other men that I treat them like men treat women. And I said, well, maybe y'all should stop treating women that way.
That's not gonna
You
happen. You know that.
right, exactly. So, look like there's a problem. So when and that was because again, my mom, she encouraged me to date. She said, find out who you are first. Don't settle with nobody. Don't do that. Don't do that to them. Don't do it to yourself. You
Okay.
find somebody that you love and you care for, fine. They love you and care for you too. But anyway, so long story short, he was there. My other friend showed up and they was like, they had never met. So I just introduced them to each other. I was like, hey, that's my boy. That's my boy. Hey, how y'all doing? We all set up and got drunk. I don't see why we pretend like that kind of stuff don't go on. And that dude, I continued to date everybody at least for another 3 months.
So wait, or were you? It's just so I'm clear, because I was in and out having issues over there.
Nah, you
Um,
good, sis.
were you having sexual relations of any degree?
No,
Any of these men?
none of them.
Let
None
me
of
be clear.
no.
Hold on, chocolate. Let me be clear. Were you having intercourse with one, hand jobs with
Hey.
another one, fellatio with a third one, and then that like
I know what
what?
you meant. I knew what you meant, and it is a no.
That's a
It's a
no.
no to all of it. Yeah, no, I
Okay.
say that up the gate.
All
We
right. Now
ain't.
let me ask my
Mm-mm.
question. Were
Yes.
you benefiting financially from any of these men as if you were their girl?
Mm-hmm.
No. No, I was not. I
You were
had.
paying for your dates?
Why not?
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't
why
I benefit from the date? They asked me out. That's
Yeah,
the
but you later
benefit.
pay. But I'm saying, like, a man equates his money with his time.
not?
So therefore, he's invested in you or investing in a date, which
Mm-hmm.
is kind of by default investing in you. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be some notion that, hey, this is my girl. And so when they see the other one, they're like, oh shoot, this kind of gets me thrown off because I'm like, I thought you were with me.
But the thing to your point, and I completely understand where you come from. I'm not that girl. I tell people up front what it is. There was never any. If I want to have sex with you, you'll know. If I'm your girlfriend, you'll know.
So wait,
Because it's not. It for me. It's not just about him choosing me. It's about me choosing him as well. So we both have to be on the same plane, or we can't mess. We can't deal with each other.
did you? So you had to have a conversation with each one of them and let them know we're
Hmm.
not dating. We're just
Yes.
dating it.
No, we are dating. We're not dating to be in a like monogamously dating. And I also would say, and they would ask the same question: was do da da da? No, ain't nobody getting the cookie. It's mine. I give it to who I want to. And to me, I guess I feel like this. And to your point, no disrespect, but I feel like that's the problem with men. They think that spending money gives them a some kind of key. I don't care because you've decided that in your brain, I'm not in that just because you take me to dinner or we go to the movies that I'm with you permanently. That makes no sense.
I see what you're saying. Now, okay, let me say this. I agree that dating is dating, right? Like I go on a date with somebody, they might pay this time, I might get asked out by somebody else. Another day, they may pay versus me, whatever the case may be. And we understand we're dating, right? And yes, you're right. Some men do have an issue with equating dating with exclusivity, right? Which is different. Like it is different.
Instead of
However,
just asking, just to
well,
your point, Lola, instead of asking,
oh no, what I'm saying is this. Some men do that. Some men don't equate. Some men will ask you, say, hey, we dating, is it anybody else? Because they kind of assume that it's somebody else. So that's an individual thing. However, biologically, men follow where they put their resources, and that's not going to change. From an evolutionary standpoint, if a man is working and he's putting any of his resources into a woman, in their biological makeup, he's acting as something over you, whatever that is, and he might not even see it that way. But men do that. Now, here's where it gets complicated, or not complicated, but it's better. if you're paying equally for the times you spend with someone and y'all are just friends hanging out, and that it's not an investment on their end, like they don't always come to the table paying for stuff, and it's really just hanging out, no sex, sometimes you equally pay, then there shouldn't be any issue with like confusion. But if any of them thought that you're trying to get to know them to see where this goes, and then they see another man around trying to do the same thing, I get it. You're not in the wrong for trying to open your options up, but the way men operate with each other, they're too territorial for us to really think that that's going to go well. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but reality says men are territorial. If they spend $2 on you, they territorial, even though that's some fuck shit. They territorial.
And you know what? And to your point, I completely agree and understand. That's why, for me, I understand based on my experiences with men and the things I've learned. My father, the whole nine, grandfather, the whole nine.
Mhm.
So for me, in almost like studying men, is the fact that they I have learned that being blunt and truthful
Mhm.
causes me more problems than telling a lie. So I would rather just deal with the problems. You don't like me, you want to call me out my name, do whatever you want to do. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this. I have never cheated on anyone. Meaning I ain't never slept with a dude while I'm in a relationship with another dude. That don't work for me. I no. If I want to, sex to me is fine dining. So if I think you gonna waste my time, I'm not gonna give it to you. It's the truth.
So
Like I
I'm sorry, go
I feel
ahead.
the same way about my
no,
time
no,
though.
you're
Not even just my
fine.
body.
Yeah, like it's here's what I say to both of you ladies. I get, and I don't think what you're saying to me is making it doesn't make me feel like I did something wrong.
Mhm.
I'm just bringing a different perspective or a different walk of life,
Mhm.
right? So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
my
this
own
is this
thing
is
is
definitely
right, and like I said, and no diss to anybody else's lifestyle, but
right.
they were company. They hung up. I'd have men, I had male friends the majority of my life. Like they come to the house, we kick it, and listen, it wasn't me. Like I wasn't trying to make nobody stay. It was
I
more or less
think that
like let's hang out, let's have a good time. Here's what we're doing. If you don't like the way I get down, you are welcome to leave. And it has nothing to do with, oh, I don't have any respect for you as a person or a man. It's the fact that I'm telling you the truth. You're not gonna like it. You may like it, you may not, but you can't pretend that you're going to be with me just because you want to stop me from hanging out with other males. And see, that is why I kind of ease back and would be like, we cool. Because, like you said, men are territorial. Well, so am I. And
Mhm.
you're not going to tell me I got to get rid of my friend because you done decided that he make you feel insecure. He's been my friend.
So
Like, why do we? But we'll get there later. I ain't going to go that far. But I'm just saying, me personally, dating for me is dating. We're going out on a date. We don't have to have sex because we went out on a date.
right.
And
I
I
I
don't,
can I can
you know what I
agree
mean? I
that
don't, yeah.
we all operate at our own level of comfortability, right? So that's definitely nothing question. My take on dating is a little bit different than I think the panel, because I'm not dating you until we're moving with intention. So if we're in that initial period, I don't want you to spend money on me. I just want to get to know you. I don't care if it's does not have to be any kind of financial in there because there's going to be a conversation where we're going to be like, hey, let's see where this goes. And then we're dating.
Mhm.
Dating multiple people, not my bag. Not my bag. It sounds icky for me. I don't care how that sounds. I am definitely walking in an energy now that the next person I see my husband.
Well,
Right. Oh, I'm with you,
There's no
sis.
extra.
Oh yeah.
I'm with
I'm
Goddess
with you,
on
sis.
that. I'm with Goddess on that one. The whole actually dating multiple people thing. Listen, I'm not trying to remember what I said the one versus another one. I ain't trying to remember which one I used the condom with, which one I didn't, which one saw that shirt but not this shirt and these panties. Listen, I don't got it. I don't got it. Okay, no. I just one man to deal with and put up with, and that's it. I can't juggle, like, because I just don't feel like, I don't want to. I'm tired. Like, I don't like it. So
I
I don't
just
know.
feel like I went through all these relationships and it was training. You know, I became better through each relationship, and now I have the opportunity to put all of the knowledge to good use into the
Mhm,
right person. You know,
mhm,
so
Okay,
maybe
now.
it's just the way that I've chosen to look at
mhm.
life. I'm ready. You know, I got a few more things to do. I'm not ready. So
Not
let
say
me
she
not
said
lie.
she
But you are, sweetheart. But this is what I'm saying, and I want to say it back to you. I give you mad compliment, right? I listen. You know, you be in the chat, you be dropping info. I be watching, and so I respect it.
Mhm.
My mother only was with one man. She married him. She was with him forever. That, they're both passed on, but she was with him.
Sexually only with one man?
Yeah, my mother was only with him,
The sound of
only with
surprise in
my
your
father.
voice is what's wrong with the youth today. No, I'm just playing.
Well, you know what? I guess if I look at it, the reason you hear that in my voice is because my father didn't deserve it. And I'm just keeping it 100. He didn't. He cheated on my mother. He married on my mother. He had children on my mom. And I think I know it has a lot to do why I'm not trying to place my feet and commit
Okay.
because
Yeah.
you get where I'm going? Because it
Yeah.
was like,
Makes sense.
I saw, a lot of women like this. My grandmother, same way.
Yeah.
My grandmother stayed with they stayed together. Oh, they did together for 50 years. That's amazing. No, it's not.
It's,
Not
yeah.
if you don't, you know what I'm saying? If you don't come to the place where you don't even like each other, I don't want that.
And you know what? You know what, Chocolate? I think a lot of us deal with our relationships from what we've seen in our
Of course.
parents.
Yes.
I know for me, my mother was like a horrible wife, and she was very disloyal, and she did very disloyal things. So when I grew up, I was hyper loyal to the point
Right.
backfired on me because
Yeah. To your detriment.
right
Yeah.
to my
Yeah.
detriment, because I didn't want to go through the pain of what their marriage, okay, was. And so I was like extra loyal, and then it just didn't work in real life for that. But that's what happens when you become traumatized by your parents and grandparents relationship. It makes it weird. So you're either trying to fix problems that they had, or you're trying or you're perpetuating problems that they had. So
Exactly.
whichever one it is, it is. But to your point about watching your mother and grandmother be loyal and with one man only to meet that end, it's like, well, if I'm gonna have to go through pain anyway, I might as well feel like how I want to feel when I deal with the pain. So I understand it, even though I'm not gonna say, well, everybody should be cheating on each other. I'm not, because my sister passed away because her husband cheated on her. Okay, AIDS is still a thing. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yes, it is. Go ahead, girl.
this is the issue that I feel that we all go through at some point, whether it's in any degree, how we go through it, what we do. But like in your case, you were avoiding problems that you've seen. In my case, I was perpetuating the solution to the detriment. So it's a weird dynamic, but I understand
It
why you
is.
feel the way you feel given their relationship
Yeah.
as a child.
Well, see, and to your point, and what you said was great. It at my and what's so funny is it was the opposite for my grandparents. Like you
Mm,
said earlier, my grandmother was a hot damn mess. Rest her soul, child. He stayed. He didn't leave.
mhm.
There was rumors that one of the kids wasn't his. All kinds of stuff, right? They stayed together, stayed in the house. This man worked two jobs. My grandfather worked for GM and he ran a laundry business, I think. And yeah, it was laundry because he had stopped. He had retired by the time I was old enough, but
Mhm.
she wasn't. She talked to him like he was trash. The shit she would say to him would be like, "Why are you talking to him like that in front of us?"
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that was one part of it. And like I said, my aunt shot my uncle. She shot him,
My
and
grandmother shot my
they
grandfather.
still together.
My grandmother
Like,
literally my
oh,
grandmother shot my grandfather and they stayed together a few more years after that. I don't know how.
yes.
I don't know how.
Hey.
I
I
Well,
don't
just
know how.
want all to
Lola, wait a minute.
know. I just
Where did y'all raise? Where was you born? Listen.
look. I just want to send all y'all ladies a virtual hug because there's a lot to unpack
Thank
here.
you. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
Indeed.
I'm
Because
wondering, why
We
are you
love
you know
y'all.
celebrating the fact that the
it's
woman is being bad to the man? You guys are excited, but when the man has done something, y'all like, oh, there's this and that, and I don't want to get
Oh no,
married.
no, no, no,
What's
no,
up?
no,
What
no. Let
is
me
that?
fix that. Let
That's
me
bad.
no, 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 no. I personally, the reason I said that was based on what Lola was talking about. We
Hmm.
are your experience in life this dictates and has a lot to do with how we deal with each other socially. We've all said up here that we've gone through things. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody in the world ain't gone through nothing. It's just about how you cope. So like
I'm
how Lola was saying, how she coped, but no, please don't take my tone for excitement that my grandmother, she was not a good woman to my grandfather. Her personality type actually was my dad's personality type. So my mom had to deal with her and my father. My
no, I'm only
grandfather
just saying
just
that
sat
because
back.
in prior you said that when you found out that your best relationships is when you did treat the man bad. So I'm it's not nothing that
Well,
new.
well,
You
let me
kind of said it, you know. That's all.
Well, no, I'm standing by what I said. It
Okay.
was the reactions of them. Like, it was like, okay, for instance, I was with my ex and I had broken up. We weren't together anymore. But this man would call me endlessly. He would show up to my house. And I just told him, it ain't when I say treat you bad or whatever, however I worded it, my bad. What I'm talking about is if I gotta drop that truth on you in the sense of please leave me be. Please leave me alone. I don't want if the relationship is bad, I'm gonna bring it up.
Mm,
If it ain't working, I'm bringing it up. If something's wrong or we feeling a certain type of way, I'm bringing it up. And then it turns into, well, why are you bringing that up? That's not what's happening. And I don't think that way. And don't try to put words in my mouth. It becomes combative. And then it's like when I stop calling, when I don't talk to you for long periods of time, when I don't need you or want you in my life, that's when you want me. That's when you want to do the
yeah.
tap and fetch and dance
Yeah.
jump. That's what I mean by
Yeah.
being cold because
Yeah.
I have to be.
But
you know
if you were to get
one
into a
thing that
marriage, right? If
when
you
we
were to get
get
into a marriage, are you still going to carry out these same types of behaviors? Because that's really, it's not balanced. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, say if you
No,
I
ran,
it's
would
it's
not.
shut
I
down.
No,
would
Like, I don't want you to
caution
or anything, you know?
caution I would caution not to sound pretentious because everybody's experiences are different, right? And so what is amazing about the whole thing is we start out as these docile species, right? We
Mm,
are there for the men, and what you're hearing now is the end result of those is, and most of the women are looking for the man to lead them back to that energy, right?
mm,
And then
mm,
there's some that look to find it themselves, and so they go a different route. It doesn't matter, any direction it takes us to get there is important to the individual.
mm,
So judgment on them because they don't align with your particular beliefs is doing a disservice to us as women. We should be balanced and provide different uh, viewpoints so that the others have an opportunity to form their own
Mhm.
opinion. None of us are right in
I
the
know, but
environment.
I'm just following up. It's okay to play devil's advocate, Miss Goddess, because I'm saying sometimes how you do one thing is how you do everything. And those are behaviors, like you said, if they're learned in the past, which comes to now.
mm,
I'm just asking if she would still continue that behavior because she probably might be used to just be like, okay, this ain't working, I'm gonna bring it up. Or like, but if you're in a marriage, that's a different level of commitment. But some, as we find, that a lot of women do initiate leaving, or we look at the 50 years as, oh, they made 50 years, but it wasn't good. But like you said, that was their viewpoint or whatever they took to get there. Okay, that was their marriage, even though it was messy and bumpy and rocky. But the point that they made it to some length needs to be applauded. But I'm just asking her that question. I'm not trying to be, pretentious or anything. That's all.
I applaud people for making it to their destination, but I'll be honest with you, like as time goes on, the goals are changing. As they say, the goalpost is being moved. The goalpost has been moved. Now that like we're here, right? The culture is different. A lot is different. The goalpost isn't the same. Like it just isn't. So like for me, I mean, goals for me isn't being unhappy for 50 years. Like that's not the goals for me to say, hey, to some person I made it 50 years. Like that's just not the goal for me. And I'll be honest with you, in wife school, I do understand that there are some women that are operating in marriages as if they're boyfriend, girlfriend, and on that, dating thing. Like there are some women that are really immature like that. But my question is, how did they get married in that level of immaturity? Now we're in a different conversation. But to the point about this energy that Chocolate is talking about, I've even noticed that when you treat men like they're not important to you, they are very poignant. They get more,
Responsive.
yeah, they get more responsive. It's almost like when you treat them like they're not a thing, and they know other men are around, they tend to be on their better behavior versus when you treat them like you're everything I'm trying to invest in. I am here with you. You're the only thing I see, and nothing's going to come in between that. That scares them, and they will a lot of times treat you like an option. That's what I've noticed in my own life. I've seen my sisters go through it. I haven't seen my mother go through it because she was just on some bullshit. But I've seen a lot of women have that same mentality where when they treat a man like he's the end all be all, they have gotten left with children. And one lady got left with 9 children by herself. And and he just went on with another woman like it was nothing. And she was very bitter afterwards. But I understood why she was bitter because it's like 9 kids. I don't even know if I had 9 people in my house except for it being an event. I don't know what that feel like. But this is what we go through. And I think to your point, there are outliers that definitely need to be addressed as far as like marriage. But before marriage, because I don't think anybody should be getting married if they in this energy dating. I don't know how you get there, but here it does seem to work better when you treat men a certain way. It just does. But I'll be honest with you, when you find a man that's actually right, he's not on that energy. He does see you for you, and he treats you the way you need to be treated. There's a small percentage of men that have that, as we call it,
Yeah.
big dick.
They out here. Yes, you are absolutely right.
They are out here, but the majority of them, you gonna have to treat them like they ain't shit to get them to act like shit.
So, but okay, sorry. Let me enter the chat. I wanted to ask though. Let's just say, like,
We
so
can't
we're in
hear you,
this forum,
babe.
right?
I'm sorry, baby. We can't hear you, Evolution. You mute.
You mute her.
Go ahead, hon. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm just saying, like, we're having these discussions, yet we're not really addressing the true elephant in the room because a lot of it has to do with how we present ourselves. So sometimes we miss the person we're looking for because we may be caught up in some kind of conflict. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it comes down to decorum a lot of times. And it's missed opportunities because of ourselves, right? We can say many cases. It's, let's just say, the mouth, the disrespect, all of these different levels that add to the why they were in these particular situations. Not to cast blame, just, it's just don't truly, we need to hold ourselves accountable too, because sometimes we are the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh
not
yeah.
just,
Yeah,
I
sometimes.
agree with that. And I don't think women really are out here saying the things that are being like at the top pushed out here. There's a lot of wonderful, smart, beautiful, attractive, loving women, whether they have children or not, all over the country. There's 330 million of us. And now take the adults out of that. We
Mhm.
cracking at least about 100 million people. And us as black folks, we are rounded to be 48 million. You mean to tell me? And then you got men saying things like you only got a certain percentage of men that these all the women sleep with, and they ride with that like it's a fact.
They do.
And I'm just going. I'm tired. Like, yes, I am. I'm very open. I try to be very transparent, and the reason that is because I grew up with nothing but secrets, nothing but bullshit. People weren't really caring about each other. How you care about me? Turn around, and talk about me behind my back. I know 100% that that affects how I'm going to be as an adult woman. I have fought and worked on myself to understand why I do the things that I do. And if I can change them or if they're just things that I'm having trouble with, I pride myself on being self aware. I'm a lot. I tell people that in a minute. And my also thing why I just keep it separate and keep it date because I'm like this. If I can't be your friend, like we can't be friends, we can't trust each other and put that foundation down. I'm not giving you my body because it's like the work
So,
has to be on both sides. So it's just like I'm having fun and doing what I want to do. When I'm ready, or if I meet someone that wants to get married and it has, we both vibe and can both give each other what each other is looking for, of course, I have no problem with that. I have no problem saying, okay, I'm done. But like currently, I took myself out of the dating game because I knew that my focus was my business. So I'm not dating anyone currently. And I keep it that way. And it doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me feel less of a woman. It doesn't make me feel insecure. Men hit on me, that's cool. But I'm not, I don't know. I guess the way I could say it is this. The reason why I'm not like overwhelmingly for me personally jumping up or put myself in a position to get married to someone is because I really wrestle with whether or not I even want that. I like my freedom. I like doing whatever I want to do when I want to do it. I don't want to ask nobody for permission. And I don't want anybody thinking that I don't care about them. I like my time alone. I like doing certain things. I like to travel. So, of course, why wouldn't I, instead of, I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to pretend to be something for somebody and I'm not just because society says, well, you at this age, you really should be married. Oh, your community looks at you funny and you should be married. They also told me I should have had kids. I wasn't married to nobody. And people was like, why don't you got no kids yet? Dudes would ask me this. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize, I'm a land because I went on way too long. But I will say this: yes, I don't agree that there's an elephant in the room. What it is that you have a room full of women who walk the world differently, but yet similar. I
Mhm.
have all the respect in the world of marriage, based on what it's been defined in this society. But that's not what's happening.
Mhm.
And I just feel like we don't even raise our children in our community to be that. Like we don't push that. So it's just like we also have to give into conclusion that it's not just about blaming people. It's about seeing how all of that affects you and your perspective of life. And we see that there's a lot of damage. I'm not afraid of men. I'm not scared. I like them. I really like them. I like the way they look. I like the way they smell. I like beards. I like all kinds of shit. But the truth being is that I personally am not giving away any of the energy that I need right now. It's just not something I can do. And I can be honest enough, and I've told men this in this process over the last few years. So I'm done. Y'all go out get some water. I talk too much. I love talking to y'all. This is great. All right.
so
Well,
I'm the same way. I'm the same
okay.
way. But
Can
what I
y'all
was
hear
gonna
me?
say is,
Y'all can?
yes, we can
Oh, y'all
hear
can?
you.
Okay.
Yes,
Go ahead, because I wanted to show
is
y'all what was going on around
the
y'all.
the thing that I completely respect about your testimony right now was the fact that it's based in a truth. if we presented to the other person a choice, and I think that's where a lot of the conversation is missed, is we don't give the other person the choice, you know. And so like for me, I personally in a completely different space where I recognize some of where I'm weaker right now, and I not completely get strength there, but enough that when my husband arrives, I'm ready, you know. And so I have taken a more self-direct approach. I took myself over the coals, you know. I held myself responsible for everything, ships, and did my uh penance, because that's some traumatic stuff, you know. So in my, I feel like I fought to get back to that energy that a lot of women, as you share in we hear in the stories, are trying to get to. So I just really appreciate the different levels. I also talk very colorful, it seems, but you know, it's just I appreciate it. Sorry, I
No,
yield.
y'all were doing
Nah, you
great.
good. You good, sis. How beautiful is that? Wait a minute. So you are, say it again. That you are the lady with the school, right? That's under
That's
your name.
Stephanie. Yeah, she went and
That's
did her
Steph.
hair.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute. All I saw was a picture. And I was like, wait, did somebody new come up here? Girl, you look good. Okay, kill them with it. All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, I'm new. I'll go for it. Yes, I'm new.
Well, now
Thank you,
the
Miss
echo
Coffee.
is back. The echo is back. I decided. Can y'all still hear me? Y'all can hear
No, love, we can't hear you. Here's what you can do.
me? Okay.
Go to your computer settings.
It's two of me, and I don't know which
I
one to work
know.
at, so I'm working on this one.
So here's what you do. You, without closing the show, remove
Right.
yourself and remove your other you, and
Mm-hmm.
then you'll be able to see which one is the right one. You got this, sis.
Okay.
You got it.
That's why I'm talking. Like I'm talking less and less because I know it's a lot of me up here. So I'm just letting y'all
Yeah,
know
if you
for this show.
click your
Next show, I'm exploding. Like, okay.
if you click yourself to leave the
Mhm.
stage, it won't shut the show down. You're
The
just
bad
leaving
thing
the
is the one that I
stage.
need to leave. I think is the one that's streaming. Like I've been trying it as y'all been talking. That's why my head been on the swivel. It ain't
That's what I
working.
said. Don't
So
be
I'm
You
scared,
know
like
what?
she
on
Okay,
mute.
said.
no, hold on. You know what? I know where the
Huh?
confusion is.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, type it
Just
to me
close one
because
of
I
the
want to keep
windows.
the show going
Just
while we
no.
got people watching.
Just
Type it to me. Type
Evo.
in a private chat for me because I got to bring up somebody. He's been waiting a long time. I want to.
All you got to do is close one of the windows. You've got it preset in your settings. It's not a matter of the screens. Just close a window.
Well, it's a lot of windows here. Which window am I closing? If y'all can see what I see, it's like a little crazy. I can't. I gotta
I
bring this
got
stuff
you.
up.
So here,
Yeah.
trust us. Go ahead and
Am I
click
right
off.
now one of me? Because only one of me can
Both.
close.
Do
Which is the
both.
one that's talking to y'all?
Do both. It's not gonna cancel the show. Just take yourself off the stage.
So I'm just okay. So both
Right
of me.
click. Right. Take both of you off the stage. So there you go. Okay, now choose the one that worked. We're gonna help this child. Lord have mercy.
We are going to get it there. We are going to
We
get
are
it
gonna
there.
get her there with the
I want you to
Lord and the
know
stream yard.
I
Hmm.
was in the middle of a podcast recording it. StreamYard kicked me completely out of the app. And back, my guest was still sitting there. So we're
Yes,
good.
that is funny though. I've had that happen to me too, where I'm somewhere else, the show going. I'm over here. I'm like, wait, what happened here?
Yes.
Before too.
Now you got it. See,
Oh,
that's what
y'all
I'm
don't hear echo?
saying. No, we got you. You
Oh,
good.
y'all don't hear echo?
No,
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 No.
you are a little low.
Exploded.
you low though.
Low, but we don't hear an echo. You're
Very
low.
low.
Okay. I okay, so I'm ready. We about to get into the show like I wanted to get into it. We about to up it a
An
little bit.
hour
So
and a
y'all
half,
watch what you
almost
talk
an
about
hour and a
getting
half
real
in. We're
messy.
ready.
All right. Now I gave y'all a little bit with the whole side chick, side do type of
Wait a
you
minute,
know,
somebody got to mute up.
is it like does I hope everybody don't have to mute up because I want to get some dialogue.
No, 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 no. You're fine. You're fine. Go, go, go. You sound great.
Okay, now I wanted to talk about the whole, like I said, the whole side dude, side chick thing, right? And I got a clip, but I also have an amazing gentleman that's coming up here. You know what I'm saying? Because the first the ladies talk, we get out what we got to say, right? And he is ready for everything. When I tell you when I tell you this brother is my brother, he's so versatile. He can talk about anything. He is unbiased. You got what I'm saying? He is a protector of women. You got what I'm saying? And he also stand on his business when it comes to the men, right? And he was the only brave gentleman that wanted to come up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I hope you're ready, King. This is Mr. King Talk TV. We want to invite you all with the ladies. Hey, King.
Welcome. Welcome, King.
Welcome. Welcome.
Oh,
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes. I was
Oh
actually,
Lord.
oh yeah, that's Goddess' best friend. I forgot that's your best friend, Goddess.
What's going on?
Hi, King.
Good
How
evening.
you feel being around all the
he
beautiful
got
ladies?
that good mic.
Yeah,
I
the
feel
good
like
one.
I feel like I'm in a good place. I'd rather be surrounded by feminine energy, so I appreciate it.
That's right.
That's what's up. Okay. Now, did you hear about anything we were talking about? Or because I have some clips that I want to play. If you just want to go right into it, we can do that too. I have you know what I'm saying? Y'all, I got like little short clips, right? I try not to get those
Go
big.
for it, sis.
Like,
You don't have to explain to us. This your
I do
show. We here for you. Go and
I
play
okay,
do
them clips now.
I do want to speak on something real quick, if you ladies don't
sure,
mind.
sure.
I want to encourage
Mm.
people to try to pay attention to the love language of the person they're selecting. I think we're not doing ourselves any justice when we try to come up with blanket ways to approach it. You understand? We are all such unique individuals. I know for myself as a man, there's definitely a person I'm no longer talking to because they took the advice of ignore him a little. Like that just didn't that did that didn't work out for that person. Like I'm a purposeful, intentful person, and I think if a traditional woman wants the kind of guy that's going to take the lead and make sure that she's doesn't have to worry about anything in life, the best she could do is show that gentleman the beauty of her compassion. So
Yes.
by ignoring him, you leaving him feeling moments of neglect and expecting him not to find it somewhere else.
I respect that. I
Thank you for
definitely,
that.
yeah. And it's
Yes.
different when
Thank
it
you
comes
very much for that. Thank
to
you.
all right. Now here is the first clip, right? And a very intelligent person sent me this clip, right? It was let me ask you a question. I'm just gonna pre-reference it. Um, have you ever had like a side dude, king, a side chick that you would do anything for? I mean anything. And what
Yeah.
would make you do that? Like, have you ever had that experience? Anybody?
No
Okay.
side nothing for me.
Yeah, I've never done the side anything. I've very always been a upfront person. You know, I've had dealings where I'm dealing with more than one person, and I would do anything for both of those people. But it was no side situation. It was just honesty.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Integrity is so much more sexy to me than anything else that you can bring. Being
Right. Your
I agree.
brain. We want your brain. We want y'all's brain.
Yes.
The
And at
thing
the
between your ears, not between your legs. We want your brain. Talk to us.
yes. Because I'm not sure if it's the same way with anybody else, but once I deem a person a liar, like once I feel like you lied too much, that completely turns me off from a person all the way. Like I can't keep up with the lies. I can't do the games. I can't do the back and forth. I feel like that's just not me.
Yeah, I agree. It's like I want to keep my mind and my body safe. So if your lies could put my mind and my body in danger, you know what I'm saying? Have me second
I
guessing my natural instincts. I agree fully.
I wish I could be
Well,
black and white,
definitely.
and that's
Yeah.
because that could be situational. I mean that I would have to address that on a situational basis. Sometimes it's done for a particular reason, so just to assess somebody as a liar, I believe in the fact that sometimes we as humans make mistakes, and I'm one to give um, another chance.
We appreciate
Oh
people.
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
just, I'm
I do believe in people giving people chances, but there's only so far. Like, just kind of like in marriages when they say, oh, like for better or for worse, but like the worst doesn't include cheating, the worst doesn't include beating me. So there's just certain things like before I call a person a liar, I'll have to see it all the way through to understand why you did it. But in all retrospect, we're adults. So I feel like you can be honest. And if that person can't accept your honesty, then I got to continue to go elsewhere because that's all I can give you is my honesty.
Right. That's it. And sometimes men don't want to hear the no. They don't want to hear that you're not the one I want. You're not fitting into my world, especially if they feel comfortable in your life. Like I said earlier, my love language, if I care about you and our intent is to date each other because we're trying to get together, oh, I'm laying it all out. I'm a cook for you. I want you to know how I am. I want to sit down and talk to you, introduce you to my people if we going that far. But I'm gonna be real with you. In the dating in the I would say, let's see, no, 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 no. So I'll be, let's say, before COVID. I was out there, I was dating, and like I said, the way that it was put earlier, I don't want to say her name wrong, but the way it was put earlier is true. We want to know who you are. If I'm telling you this is it, because you can't get inside my brain and know who I am. I have to talk to you and show you. And then your reciprocation of it is going to determine what we do next.
So I also believe that as a right. So if I meet somebody that I really want to put time into, it's my job as the woman to teach him something he may not have been shown prior to meeting me. So if he comes in with a level of distrust, I'm not going to show him he can trust me. It's going to be myself, and I'm going to ensure that I give the right space, because it's not about me in that time period. It's that getting to know each other, earning each other's trust, that kind of thing. Um, it's really important that I put just as much effort into myself and making sure that I'm not bringing baggage from a relationship in the past to the one that I'm currently getting ready to pursue. And so
Mhm.
it's
Yes.
really important that even if it's in the moment, I can say, "Hey, this is not your trauma. I'm going to go take care of this." Because or the trigger, right? They initiated the trigger, but they weren't the emotion that came with it. So it does take a level of discernment. So that way you can have the appropriate conversations. So that way I would not be taking anything out on him,
Hold on. Okay,
respectfully.
can I jump in? Okay, so okay, hold on. Baggage. All right, because I gotta write stuff down so I can remember. So because
I
I
love that.
I want everybody to talk and I don't want to interrupt. To God, I'm not guys. To Chocolate's point about we want to know who you are. Chocolate, I'm gonna give you a little pushback on that. Okay, when you say we want to know who you are, that's
You
not
know,
that's not tech,
go
that's not technically true. Some women want to know who you are, and that some is less than half. Okay, most women are in the struggle and they don't got their shit together and they just trying to get a bag and get their bills paid. They don't want to know who you are. That don't profit them. There's a small amount of women, meaning less than half, genuinely don't need your money per se, ain't looking for a bag, ain't trying to use you as social clout, and they want to know who are you beneath the surface that nobody sees. There's a very small amount of women that want to know that. And I think as women, we need to be realistic with our sons and with our men that, listen, most women you meet don't give a fuck about you. Let's be clear, okay? You're going to have to learn to discern between people, okay? And then specifically women, meaning you're going to have to pay attention. Now, paying attention to William Graves in the chat, talking about paying attention. The reason why you're asking questions the way you're asking questions, and I think you did say you were deaf, so I hope you have the closed caption on right now, because you're asking a lot of questions. The reason why you're asking these questions in succession the way you are is because you're not paying attention in real life enough. So you will ask strangers questions like, why do women divorce men and men divorce women? Like, there's 1,001 reasons why people get married and divorced. We're not really concerned with the 1,001 reasons as if there's only supposed to be one reason why people get divorced. As someone said before, for better or for worse does not include beating my face into the point I can't see out my eye. That's not for better or for worse. So we're not going to argue the all the reasons why. That's not what we're going to do. But what you should do, sir, and this is just a suggestion, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but when I see men asking strangers this level of questioning, I know you're doing that because in real life, these are questions, but these are questions you should be able to see for yourself, like in real life, if you're paying close enough attention to what you say you're focused on. And that's not to put a diss on you, but even I had to learn that lesson, to pay more attention and stop just wanting things to be right. Pay attention so that life can be right for you. But then going back to your point, Goddess, about baggage. I'm be honest with you. You're right. You see what I'm saying? You shouldn't bring baggage from other men to another man, because I don't want no baggage from another bitch. But here's the thing. We all bring baggage, whether it's baggage from other like romantic relationships, or baggage from parents, or baggage from friends, or just baggage from, let's say, personal things that then happen to people that they bring into relationships. And again, it goes back to the 1,001 reasons. Right now, a man can bring baggage to a relationship from his relationship with his father. You see what I'm saying? Or he can bring baggage to a relationship because he has something personally wrong with him and he feels insecure about that ever since he's been a child, and he's been teased a lot about it as a child. So he's bringing that baggage to you. Now, that's not a relationship, that's not a parent relationship. He wasn't sexually assaulted, but that is still baggage that's going to affect your relationship with him. So we all bring baggage, but I think the overarching issue is you should be striving to figure out where your baggage is. It's not to say hyper focus on it every day, but you should be trying to say, hey, if somebody mentions something to you, you should be an adult enough to figure out, oh, is that coming from when my uncle touched me the wrong way? Or is that coming from the fact that I never felt like I was good enough in this area when I was a kid? Or is this coming from here? Like, you should be able to self-assess. Are you dealing with something in your relationship that has nothing to do with your relationship? It has everything to do with something in your past. That is something you have to do as a person, or you run the risk of losing your relationship. Now, if you're fine with that, cool. But if you're not fine with that, and you want to grow old with somebody, you're gonna have to do that. And honestly, to a degree, nobody can teach you that. You just gonna have to figure that out. But that's what I got to say about that. So I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing, but to a large degree, like, look, everybody got baggage around here. I bet. Listen, my
You're
bag
right.
is smaller than yours or bigger than hers, but I still got a bag. I got a bag.
You're right. I
My bag.
just chose I just chose to work on mine to my husband. And so you're right though. A lot of people aren't able to do that, and the majority of relationships are bringing all of that stuff forward. It comes down to, like you stated, how you can handle it and how you effectively communicate it, and it's like holding you responsible for this emotion even though your action right now caused it. you know a lot of women are in that mature mindset. We're just not given opportunity to show it because there's already a fisticuffs before we even have opportunity to process the situation. you know i unfair disadvantage in many cases because due to all the conversations talking about the same group of women, we're all subjected to the rules and views and everything that they are, although we are nothing the same.
I just wanted to add to what you ladies were saying. I'm
Well,
I
mhm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I saw that William Gray said, "Okay, thanks for solutions." So I guess Lola covered that. He also said by so,
Right.
but
I
the
mean, but
numbers
what she
ain't
was
changed.
speaking was facts. Right. Where should I no lie detected? That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if you scroll up in the comments and just read every question, it's like
yeah,
over
he's still
20
there.
questions right here.
It was quick too. I was like, I ain't gonna put all that
Damn,
in.
maybe he just want to know. Maybe he writing a book or something. I don't. I I'm gonna be real with you. I think if they're brave enough, you should interview women. Like really ask the questions you want to know. Because the stuff that we talking about is fluff. If you're insecure, you're gonna bring that in a relationship.
Mhm.
As we're talking right now about openness and awareness, I just wonder, no speculation, I just wonder, do men create safe spaces for themselves so they can get into that place as well?
Huh.
No,
Do
I,
because
they
we always
do
want to be
they have the
included.
option? Because in all honesty, it's not us calling them simps. It's not us saying that this man is weaker than this man. And I'm strictly speaking about the space. It's almost like the schoolyard.
mhm,
You got all your cliques. Everybody is doing their thing. But what I continue to hear in these spaces
mhm.
is that the self-awareness isn't there. You
Mhm.
don't want to you
But
don't want to
you
look in
know,
that mirror and turn it. It's hard shit to do. And I'm just being real quick. In what was just said, the journey I've had to go through, and I'm still every day is a process.
Mhm.
I don't want anybody in my life that I can't give myself to. So that's why I keep it light and friendly because I can't commit to you.
Oh,
But when I say that and
mhm.
let you know, then it becomes a game for you because then you try to
Yeah.
do everything you can to opposite what I'm saying until I completely cut you out my life.
Yep.
And that gets exhausting. That gets exhausting as hell because it's like, bro, you got some stuff you need to work on. You don't even want to be honest about the shit you got to work on. Like, my exes had issues with their parents, just like I had issues with mine. But
Mhm.
I can talk about it and honestly know. But that's not what I was getting in return. It was, I'm a man, I'm tough,
before
I don't feel nothing. That gets exhausting.
But a lot of
before
men
King got
also
married,
operate that way because a lot of men really have never had that space to really just really, how do I say this? Just have the space to really
Cry.
say or cry or express their feelings. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for an example, my husband, when we got married, like he thanked me because he's never had a safe space and he's never been able to be vulnerable because he's always had like it's always at the cost of something. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
as a man, like I feel like, well, I can't say as a man because I'm not one, but I feel like men just come from a different set of pressures, and whether they want to admit where they're lacking out loud, when there's men amongst men, they know where they fall on the totem pole. So
Mhm.
it's like until they can admit where they are in their own life and admit that they're not comfortable with their own being as a man, it's
Mhm.
always going to be hard on any person that they choose to pursue because they're not happy with themselves first.
Well, I heard at the barbershop there's no crying, so I don't. That's what I.
It
actually
should be
though,
in the
You
what
know
I'm
process.
what?
looking
Can
at for
we
me though,
wait,
no,
ladies? Let's
Not
take the
process.
hold on.
crying.
Hold on. I wanna say this though, because
You
you
next, Queen.
asked a question, do men have spaces that they can go be safe? No, because we feel we need to be there too. We're in their
They have
locker
the
rooms,
closet.
we're in their golf clubs.
Well,
Evo,
maybe we.
it's
But
I'm just saying, we as women make that space for ourselves. Men try to, and then somehow it's seen as evasive and they're hiding something. And it's not to speak to anybody on the panel. Real, real thing that happens. And
Oh
so
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you
men
completely.
men are not
King, we
allowed
got
to have
quiet. I want to know.
spaces.
Yeah.
But
And I
I just
also
want to
feel like
say,
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
baby. No, 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 no. Real quick.
He
I
wants to
just
tell
want to
y'all where he
say, please stop. Let's leave crying off the table, because men, that seems to be a touchy issue.
It's a trigger.
We and I. Yes, it is. I do believe this, as it was said earlier. No, it is not, and I know it isn't. And then when, am I echoing? Do I sound like a robot right now?
A little bit.
Oh
Little bit.
no, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, keep it short and sweet. No, they don't. Because this machismo that lives in our men and our society, because it's not just our men who push this bullshit. This I don't have feelings, this I don't that don't bother me. You're emotional and I'm logical. All of these silly roles that don't exist. Just talk to me. And if you can't talk to me, say that. Hey, listen, I'm dealing with some shit. I don't have no words right now. Okay. And maybe Lola, maybe I am in that small percentage because I want to know who you are. I don't want to lay next to a stranger. I can do that any night of the week.
I respect
That
that.
ain't it ain't
So
hard.
wouldn't you so my question would be, wouldn't you want to adapt to learn him instead of making him
Oh,
tell you, because men by nature are not communicative in that
well, if
respect.
you, I
So
say this.
I'm just
I
saying, this is just
I ask y'all something.
I'm not coming against you.
You
I'm
know,
just
y'all got a
providing
man right
a
here.
different
That's what I was
perspective.
going to
oh,
say. It's a man right
go
there.
Please
ahead,
let
go
the
ahead,
man
my
talk.
bad.
I know,
Ironically, you
bro.
guys were answering the question by not allowing me to speak on it. Um, a lot of times, the focus on whatever's going on is the way that it affects the woman, and a healed guy will be communicative, right? A guy that is not healed, a guy that has not sought counseling or had the wisdom of a gentleman who's further in his journey, like closer to what that guy wants to aspire to be, that's the guy that's shut down. Because the one thing that we know for a fact is if we work hard and show the ability to be a good earner at a core minimum, we have a chance of attracting a good woman. The rest of the characteristics are the things that are lacking because they haven't received training. So they can get that training by having an older mentor, whether it's even if it's an older gentleman at the job that they work in. It could be they working at a factory and there's an old head at the job site, been married 16 plus years. If the guy is in a healed place, he'll listen. Healed men listen.
Absolutely.
Well, yes, I agree with
Absolutely.
you, sir.
And Mr.
I'm
King,
very aware.
women
Yes, sir.
cannot mentor men. Women cannot teach men. And is that right, Mr. King?
All right, so it'll sound controversial. Women,
Okay. I
a
want to
woman,
know. I don't
a
think.
woman who's receiving direction from a man could still be effective, right? Like if the child's father wasn't there, but the grandfather was playing an advisory role. You understand? She could still receive the discipline and the structure that a women by nature are nurturers. So by nature, you want to make sure your child is okay. Whereas by nature, a man is going to want to make sure he doesn't do that shit again. Right. So it's like
Okay.
if you have the advice and the wisdom of an older gentleman, he may sit here and tell you, instead of making sure he's okay, if nothing's leaking out of anywhere, right? Nothing appears to be broken, just counsel him on how not to injure himself that way again, right? It'll toughen him up. It's what a man would do. So you can have the advice of a man who did not make that child and still be a very effective person. Yes, the ideal situation is a situation in which the person who has chosen your body to come inside of is going to not leave you unless you present to be an abusive person,
Right.
right? And vice
I have a
versa, that you
question
won't
for
be leaving.
Stephanie.
Very. Very well put,
I have a
sir. Much
question.
respect to you.
Okay.
I have a question for Stephanie because she was very she became very passionate to kind of drive home a point of a woman's position. Um, I just want to ask,
Mhm.
how can we get women to that point if it's just an automatic, you're supposed to do that? I think, and this is not me coming at you. It's just it's
Mhm.
saying that, it seems like there's a lot of women with that second place position in a relationship, and it's not wrong. Many women feel the same way you do. I just feel like we don't allow the men to be men just as much as we don't allow ourselves to be women,
Well,
because
it's
we
up to
hold
you as
ourselves
a
to such a
it's up to
high
you as an adult to
expectation.
act as a woman. You know what a woman is. We come on. We know what a woman is. We know what we like. We know what we don't like. We know what we like as in regards to a man and how he looks,
There
our
goes that.
preferences.
There goes the pretend. I get it. I get it.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
not.
but
It's
I don't
not
mind being
common.
second place.
It's
Now, if I
not.
don't, if I
It's not common knowledge, though. You
okay,
have the knowledge and just expect everybody else to have it too. That's that's
but you,
unrealistic.
but did you do the work, Miss Goddess, to come
I
to the
love
knowledge of?
myself to do the work.
Yes, and
Yes.
and I had to do the same thing too. I wasn't shown certain things, but the thing is, I'm not gonna live in excuses, just to dismiss bad behavior, dismiss things that are going wrong with women or in our community.
So
You know what I'm saying? So
any woman who has a hesitation to your particular substance is making an excuse,
it could be.
because I,
Some
I
some women
understand
do.
I can understand the practicality of your statement, right? I don't want to
Okay.
dismiss that. However, a lot of people are not able to be that result driven, right? They're
Yeah.
more
But
about the
but
Yeah.
results
experience.
matter, right? When we
To
when we want a certain
some
man or
pay
when we want
more
certain things in our
some
lives,
pay
we
more
want a
to
result, right? Most people want results.
some pay more attention to the experience for the self growth and aren't so focused on the other person. Whereas in many groups, the focus is on the other person. So both views have room at the same table,
But
right? We
well,
can
if I
we
could
can
say
eat at
something,
the
but
same
we were
we
talking
can
about
eat at the
raising
same
boys, and I
buffet.
said,
We can eat at the same buffet. That's not that doesn't one does not have to obsolete the other. I just sometimes when I'm in discussions with you, we don't like the way you dismiss other women's viewpoints.
I'm not. Well, only you're the only one just talking to me. I haven't heard from
No,
Miss
I'm
Chocolate.
just the
We
only
come to
one.
respectable understanding, Miss Oshun.
I'm the only one comfortable enough to say something because conversations have been had.
That's fine.
Okay.
I
We're
didn't
having
know
You
it
that you
now.
you
had
bring you bring
I
a
didn't have none
wealth.
against Goddess. She's just
I'm
coming for
just
me. Now, actually, I was talking to
I
Mr. King, and
I'm
she
just saying,
interjected.
what I'm
you bring
trying to
amazing
get it
knowledge.
out.
You bring
But
amazing knowledge, and I'm not taking away from that.
Okay.
However, you're in a different level of understanding and experience where women
Hmm.
have not yet had opportunity to do so. So we should be a little bit more encouraging, because that the way you jump to try to put a woman into a place because you want a king to validate your statement, which is great. King can attest to that.
Yeah,
King
because
is
you
definitely
just
versed
basically,
in
okay,
that.
you're doing the same thing that he was saying. You're trying to speak on the behalf of other people, and he was right there.
No,
So I'm asking him a question, just talking
I'm
about,
actually speaking to you directly about how you can be received, and nobody is willing to tell you this.
you
That's
know
all I'm
what, Miss
doing.
Oshun, she's told me lots of things, lots of times, but
Yeah, she got a way
I'm
of telling you too.
if it's between me and you, I don't have anything against you.
I don't
I
have
really
anything against you
was
either.
talking to
I don't
you.
have
Mr.
anything.
King
I
was
don't
talking
have.
about the safe
I
I
don't
space,
would,
have
I
and
would
anything
you're
love
not.
to
against
say
you.
You're
I
not.
Hey,
don't.
Okay,
lady.
you're
Hang on
the
one
one that's
second.
All
talking
right,
Hey,
about.
hold on.
lady.
We
Can
can
I talk
definitely
to
Hey,
my
get
lady.
you
son?
back. Hang on one second because I
Miss
think
Air,
I'm
as
Miss,
a
just
lady from the
go
panel
ahead.
that
I'm just
we're
for
all
you
we're
guys
all
before
But
you
I
guys
just
we're
never even
champion
got
a
Hey, ladies,
different
we're
kind of
all
finished.
way.
very
All
strong
right,
individuals
ladies.
up here, and
Hold
I
on,
think
y'all.
we can
one
definitely
mic,
get
one
back
mic.
to a
Yeah,
point
we'll
in
do
the
this another
conversation where
time.
we can
Hold
converse,
on.
where we can agree to disagree without talking
Yeah,
over one
Yeah,
another,
I
without
think
being
absolutely. You and I.
no,
disrespectful.
hold on.
We can bring it
Hold
back to
on.
where we
You
started.
guys, Stephanie and arguing. We're not arguing. We're having a
no. Can
conversation.
I
That's
play
all
my
it
clips? I
is.
want to play
No,
my
that's
clips.
okay. But
Because Roland
as
got to go
another
in a minute.
perspective, just listening from the outside looking in, just like you're telling her to take criticism, I'm telling you, it looks like you guys are coming off as argumentative instead of working with one another so we
Yeah,
can
it
bring the
is coming off
conversation
as
back.
argumentative. Absolutely.
Well, sorry that
We're going
you
to
I
get to
feel
that.
I
that
I want the
did.
way.
tea though
I'm
behind the
sorry you
scenes.
feel that way. Go ahead.
I
Yeah, it's bad. But
No,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
saying
There's
that
nothing to
the
be
safe
sorry
space
about. I
that
just think there's a better way to
we say that
communicate.
there is for men, there isn't. And that fact that that we're doing this right now isn't a safe space for us too, because it
We're going
does
to
go
deal with
off the rails sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
it. We're going to
So
deal with
like
it
he was
after the
just saying
show.
that a boy it
I learned my
needs a
lesson.
man. We cannot teach a man how to be a
Wait for
man. We
you.
do not have testosterone. We do not have
well,
certain appendages that move a certain way, so we wouldn't
wife,
know how to
I don't
love.
identify.
understand why when we're challenged, we take it as an argument. That's all it is. It's just a
Yeah, that
challenge.
All
I
right,
did
I'm
so
want
not
to say
arguing.
this. If you
okay.
guys don't mind, if you guys don't mind, I just want to say this, ladies. I understand exactly what when we talk about relationships. Our base, whether we want to deal with it or not, is religious. Our roles in our mates' lives were taught to us through religion and through what your parents or grandparents. They're together. That's it. Buy a house, have some kids, have a good job, live your life, love God, and keep it pushing. But we don't get into what that does mentally to you. I know I'm not a man, but I help raise one, and he is fantastic. And yes, I'm gonna say it because he's my brother. He's a wonderful man. He done held on to his woman for 5 years. So it's like you know that these things exist, but when it comes to women talking about the relationships that they have with men, it tends to get a little testy. And the reason being, I feel, is like I appreciate us all being up here because we're all different types of women. We come from different walks of life and we can still have a conversation with each other.
Mhm.
Now, the last thing I'm gonna say, this is to Trey Ferd. This for you, boo. This one
Uh-oh.
for you.
I didn't even get to introduce him.
I'm I'm waiting. Me and
Chapter
you,
one, let's
buddy.
go.
Me and you.
And Stephanie,
All right, y'all
I
got it.
do
Go
want to
ahead. I just wanted to
apologize.
say that.
I
Go.
I'm
do
so
want to
glad you
apologize
came.
if you felt
I
I
invited
do
Ferg up. Thank you so much for coming up, Trey. I usually
What's
Clap
do it
up,
to
clap.
man?
Zaddy, but I don't
What's
think
up,
his
Say?
if
wife
you
like
I
it.
do want to apologize really quick if you felt like I was attacking you. I'm just challenging your perspective because you
No,
and
we
I are
gonna
on the
deal with
same
it.
side of the fence. No. I need to explain this. You and I are on the same side of the fence. We're just at different posts. So if you and I can challenge each other in that space, we offer a true different perspective, full, in capture of our two different viewpoints. I was only challenging you. I was not arguing with you because this is a conversation. It's just a conversation.
Right.
No, I didn't have a problem. I was just speaking to the fact of Mr. King talking about boys and men. I don't know how none of that happened
It
because
took a left,
if as soon as
but we
you
back.
tell a woman that they can't do something, they just go wow. Like I'm not trying to say that. I didn't say anything biblically. I just said what a man's relation to a boy is rites of passage. There's certain things that just a woman cannot give a man. Yes, we do give him the nurture, we give him some insight, but it is limited to on a spectrum. So to get the full spectrum, he needs that masculine energy. He needs the certain ways to move because like I said, we just aren't men, even though we I say that we want to do everything because we think we can, but there's just some things that we just can't do. That's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to argue with anybody. I was just trying to talk to Mr. King about certain things because I have sons and I know my limitations because they're getting older and it's not the little cuckoo, come here, sit down, Billy. It ain't that no more. They get it's like, man, I need some other instruction, other and
They need some other initiation, and it can't be by me because they're going to the vital parts of their lives, when their bodies are changing, and they might have more questions that I probably mostly cannot answer about men, being a boy, navigating the world, how to secure yourself, how to be stable mind. You know what I'm saying? There's like a lot of emotional men
Yeah.
out there, and so
Y'all both make good points.
I
Very good points.
that's all I was coming from. I'm not trying to
And
argue Miss Goddess. That's all.
Everybody
and
makes
it
sense.
seems
Yeah,
like the
no,
people kind of
definitely.
like it. Ain't nothing. Look, a good
And
tug
that's
of war of words. But
absolutely,
y'all about
absolutely.
it.
And you know
That's all
what?
that
I
matters.
blame Lola. I blame Lola.
Yes.
Lola is usually more hype, and then I'm more mellow, right? Because we're polar opposites to each other. So
That
this
was
is this
me.
is all Lola's
She
doing,
owned it.
Stephanie.
No, no, she stepped
That
up
was
to the
me.
plate.
Uh,
So she stepped
Lola
up.
be after everybody. She don't care.
Yeah.
That's why I have mad respect. But like I said, and I just want to say this: the fact that we can do this, whether we feel inadequate, adequate, whether we don't have all the answers. Nobody is saying that at all. And no, no, this is not man bashing or hating on men. Listen, if you're a heterosexual woman or you're attracted to men, like I say, I study them. Why not? That's who I like. If I liked anyone else, I'd study them too. And like I
Uh,
said, I just find it that I'm thankful that you had this. Because again, I think those questions of the emotional side, that's fine that you want to go out and go work. Okay. That's fine. You want to bring me your paycheck or whatever you want to do. That's great. But to each woman, that's different. I don't need you to do that. I don't want that. I want you. I don't want your money. I want you. And I seem to run into men who seem to go like their brains start to bubble when I say that. Like, can you just tell me who you are as a person? I don't need that part. Like oh well, I go out, I work 12 hours, I ain't home, don't talk to me. I don't want you gotta do what I say. I'm a man. And that is a lot of the men's attitude out here. And you can't be mad if a woman doesn't want that. Like I don't want to be married for you to feel like you gonna tell me what to do.
You
That's
know what?
insane to me.
You
You
know
know what I
what
mean? And
I've
but that's
learned?
me. Yeah.
you you want
You
a
know what I've
soulmate.
learned
You
from
want a
listening to you
soulmate, not a father.
ladies? King,
I
tell me
want
if I'm wrong.
you know
I'm a
what, King? I'm gonna
savage.
say this.
I'm a whole
Listen,
savage. I couldn't
listen,
get no cold
evolution.
lettuce if I made ice on my
Listen,
vagina.
we
Because I don't even
hey,
like nothing
listen.
else. Like, that's
But
crazy.
no, it's not crazy. That's just how
I'm a
your
whole savage.
experiences have brought you to this place. I don't think any of us up here feel that one way is better than another because it's about who you are as a person. It's about what you're looking for. So like to the point of um Stephanie, I have um I have mad respect for what you say. And my mother was a lot like you. This is what she used to tell me, right? She was like, she asked me one time, she said, "What you gonna cook for your family?" I was like 13. And I said, "Banquet chicken." And she said, "You're not cooking nobody though." She went off. And the reason she did is because she cooked all the time. That's all I saw. My mother cooked and cleaned every day, all day long. But the unfortunate thing about Stephanie is that women like myself, who unfortunately have to see the ugly side of relationships, when you grow up with abuse and that's normalized, because in our community we kind of normalize that
It
because we don't
shouldn't.
talk
It
about it,
really shouldn't be.
and
It,
it shouldn't be. And like you said, if like we used to do matchmaking, like here in this country our people did it. It's in history, you could go find it, that they used to have matchmaking services for black folks to help them find someone.
In the
And it's just
church?
like, I don't know, I think no, not in the church. Girl, this was like,
Just in the community.
I can't remember.
It
Yes,
was in the
thank you,
church.
sir.
oh, I had good
My
families back then.
right,
I had
because
families.
believe me,
You know,
right. But this is what I mean, Stephanie. We don't offer the things necessary to create these black families that we discuss. There's no black neighborhoods. There's no place that you could go with your kids and your wife and your husband and you feel safe and you know your neighbors. Where is that? That was The church for a lot of black people was that solace. So that's why I brought that up. No shade at you, Stephanie. I was just saying that our relationship has foundations in religion. And we have to understand that there's a difference with that. If you want to do what the Bible say, by all means, hats off to you. You want to do what the Quran says in a relationship, hats off to you. I think where us as women in this space and men in this space having this conversation, we always feel like we're ready to go to war with one another. And that's not the case. I just want to know,
Damn.
like why can't we go a little further? And then I'm done after I ask Trey free of one question. Hey Trey.
Yeah, I want Trey to say something. Sorry,
Yeah.
Trey. Yeah, Trey,
Why?
you gotta say that.
Yes. Why did you say that men do have spaces, but women need to like I'm paraphrasing what you wrote. I would love for you to expand on that because you're saying there is spaces and us women need to stay out of it. And I'm a little, not to say I know chocolate's not cheating on me. Get out of here. Go on, answer that question.
That's the question I was going to ask Chocolate. But anyways, let's go ahead.
Well, hello, ladies. How y'all doing today?
Okay, look at all these deep
Bye.
voices.
How you
He
doing?
was a deep voice. He brought his brother.
Y'all looking lovely as ever, and of course,
Oh,
us men are looking as ugly as ever. That's just who we are. I don't know exactly. I'm going to comment on what the statement I made. There are places, and I heard someone mention the barbershop. And this is a different time in the barbershop. Guys are a little bit more in their soft boy era. So, also basketball courts, pool halls where we used to go pretty much as men and, have a beer or two and talk about whatever issues we may have been having, not just in relationships, but with the job or things that we're trying to figure out, our next move and things. There was a time when men could talk each other off the cliff. Regardless of what the woman would do, we would, hey man, just from my own experience, I experienced the heartbreak, I would say probably my junior year in high school.
That is not heartbreak. Okay.
Well, what I'm saying is we was doing too much and she sort of turned shit. But and the one that
She's a child, I hope.
of course I was a child too, but I was in my feelings. She was giving me too much cake and I was eating all that shit.
A lot of these men be saying that women ain't SHIT because of what they went through in high school. Meanwhile, the girl in high school was 14.
Hold up. And what I didn't say that affected my life. That was a part of me growing up and understanding the dynamics even more of women. I had 6 women in my house, 5 sisters,
that's
my
the
mother,
effect though.
and my father. Now, the person that helped me understand that was my mother, because when she saw me in this state, she was the first one to say, "Stop your bitch ass crying. You ain't gonna be crying over no woman." So, okay. But she also taught me how to love and respect women just because. Not kiss no ass, not take no woman just trying to stomp all over me.
Right.
But automatically coming out the gate, even, and some I've had communications with some of you all, I don't have to refer to a woman as a B. I don't look at it as a woman that's always going to hurt and all of this. But I do speak on the behavior. That's what I held myself to. If you treated me a certain way, I dismissed you. I didn't argue. I didn't ask you why you treat me like that. Your number was deleted. You were blocked. I see you out. Hello, how you doing? If not, whatever. It wasn't a big deal. It's too many of y'all to complain about this. Now, for me, when I was men, unfortunately, we seem to forget that we all have some of the same upbringings in a sense. You can talk about the last 30 years. Everybody's house was fucking in disarray. Y'all got brothers. Y'all seen y'all cousins. Y'all see the men in y'all family on some bullshit, and they see the women on some bullshit. And y'all sit around and listen to these girl, men ain't shit, girl, women ain't shit. That's just what happened. Now the trick is, how can you look at yourself and say, okay, despite my behaviors, how can I make them better? I can't go with the crowd if I want something specifically made for me. And that
Fact.
goes on both sides. Even men, I know dudes that always women ain't shit. But yet, man, where the women at? Man, if you, but it goes both ways though. Women do the same thing. Men ain't shit. Where the man at? So how can you, especially going forward today, it's a very unique place because now I don't know where y'all live at in the country. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we couldn't talk about these things across the country. It was on your own little clique. So all the men ain't shit in your city, but you never been to New York, you never been to California, you never been to certain place. All the women ain't shit. So I think this is a unique space for everybody to sort of just expand outside of that. Now, for me, this is why I tell the guys, in our lives, we're gonna meet three of y'all that's worth marrying. The first two, you ain't ready. We're gonna fuck around on y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all that. The first two gonna get it. Now that third one, when we all get to that age of reasoning, because women do the same thing, when y'all get to about 40, 38, 40, 35 and over, fuck that. You lose 200 pounds because you start fucking with the nigga that can bring you down for 15 years. That's 200. Now you're going into a different mindset. Now you're looking at yourself as more valuable. That's great for yourself. However, you got to think about the opposite sex. And the nature of man has not changed in 2,000 years.
Yes,
So,
we know.
but that's the way.
I don't know. These new men, the new ages, are definitely showing that there's a change now.
Yeah,
Not before,
Oh
but there's
yeah,
definitely
honey.
a
Yeah,
Listen,
total
they
change in
talking.
all
people
it
for
is
but
just a
sure.
different way to do it. It's just a different
Yeah.
but
message.
a lot of the behaviors, a lot of
Men,
the men behaviors were taught to them when they were young boys.
But
And that's the
but
thing.
that's
So
but
What you
go
was
Trey,
ahead.
gonna
that's
say?
what we try to say. We say that and y'all don't give us a pass. When we tell y'all the reason why we stay away from y'all or we may be chill, that part y'all don't like to talk about. You'll say, and I've heard you, Trey, you've named of all them places, who going out here to the pool hall? Who going? I mean, it is about at this point in time, we in a totally different era of life where the
Yeah.
majority of what we do is online. So how am I supposed to meet Mr. Goody Pants at the pool hall?
But
I mean, like,
I,
but that's what I'm saying. Hold on, hear me out. I'm sorry I did. I interrupted you and I apologize for that. But I do want to say this to you. I've heard you say things like that before, like women are coming into men's spaces and trying to do something different. And that is not true. On this panel, you can count how many of us actually have a channel that men come to. Because the majority of the time it's men coming to our channels. But then when we try to tell y'all some real shit, then it's, well, that's an outlier or you an anomaly. No, I'm not. I'm a
That's
woman
true.
that would have loved to be, if it was up to me, I'd have married straight out of high school. That's that other side of me. But unfortunately, your brethren, as well as some other folks, when they swear up and down, you want a woman that's real. You want a woman that's down for you.
we
But
damn
when
sure.
we show you that, when we down for y'all, I would like for other men, like y'all said, they need mentors, they need this. Call these dudes out. They don't listen to us. Call them out. They out here fucking up. I'm just being real with it.
Right.
No, oh,
And men are not calling out other black men to do right by women. I don't hear that, see that nowhere. And all
okay.
we talk about is young people. Who the fuck on here is young? Everybody in their 30s and 40s and 50s. We
Hey,
know
hey,
we
Trey,
were
did
young
you?
ones.
Almost there.
So we
I'll be
Oh,
32.
know.
Dad,
hold on.
King, what you gonna say? You might be able to help.
I want to say this. I definitely does not a shameless plug for my page, but my Instagram page is the same as my
Hey,
room. If I am a guy that's constantly checking guys on bullshit, all right. So, but here's what I want to encourage everybody. I would love to see the moms who have to figure out how to make their boys into men, and the moms who still have an active father in their life. Let your child be involved in the community. Okay, Put your child in situations where he has to show care and
Right.
for somebody else without an orgasm or money in exchange. It's a good character building reference.
Oh yes,
And when that
excellent. I'm on it.
grows,
I'm following you right now.
when that person, okay, when that person grows up, a woman's going to be able to sense his leadership abilities because he would have recently practiced them. The problem is we have men who want the job of being leaders without having shit on their resume. And the
Mm.
only why they think that's going to work is because too many of you all allow it. Too many of you guys are doing things for a guy who doesn't have shit on his resume because you
That's
believe in
it.
the future. So
I I
it
I, I, to-
encourages it encourages fuckboy behavior.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of that
Mhm.
is what we perpetuate through what we allow. And I'll say that, but I'll also say that there's a good portion of women that are now not allowing that, but because those women are the minority, it affects the whole thing affects them negatively because if only a small portion of women are practicing this, it's not going to work for the whole, and we're in this perpetual cycle. But I do have to jump on what I wanted to say is that great show, Evo. Make sure your mic is loud. But
Yes. Oh, wait, Queen, before you go, I want you to shout out where they can find you at, where they can subscribe.
oh,
I just want to say, I'm gonna make this real quick. I figured out if y'all could have seen what the problem really was and why it was two of me, it was so simple. I
see,
know that y'all want to kill me because he spent so much time on that.
see,
But next
It's
show, we
okay.
going up.
It's okay. You got it, sis. Let's keep it pushing.
you got
All
that.
that matters. Look,
Yeah,
all that matters, you made it. You got it. All right.
now, the only thing I would say to the conversation before I leave is about women mentoring men. I agree with Wife School that women
Wait,
cannot
wait,
teach
Lola, is
men.
this your final thought? Hold on, this
Yeah,
your final thought?
yeah,
Hold on, I
because I
got
gotta
you.
get ready to jump.
I got you. I made something for your final thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So we gonna, yeah, just let me get all my chips and stuff out the bag. Here we go, here we go.
I
All
like
right,
that.
wasn't that cute? We call our final thoughts, dear ladies.
Dear
So
lady.
we all came up with that. So go ahead, Lola, it's on you.
Okay. So final thoughts for me, anyway, dear ladies, as women, they are right. We cannot teach them how to be men. However, the safe space that we are responsible for giving them is within our own lives, personally first, and to a degree publicly. I am a safe space for my father first, then the men in my life, my children, and my brothers and nephews. They can cry with me because I'm also going to tell them you only cry in front of me in private, not in public. But that's why. As far as men in public, like Trey Ferg and them, they get a certain level of respect from me. In terms of like sometimes there's panels I don't go up because it's a bunch of men talking about man stuff. I stay in the comment and talk my shit. But at the end of the day, I don't come up on your panels. I leave you alone. But I think men are right. There's some spaces we do need to stay out of because it's just not necessary for us to be in it. Don't get me wrong, there's some spaces where we can and it's co-mingling and stuff, but most of the time it's not. And I think that's where we will probably need to draw the line. But this is why this show is so great because it's for ladies, so we can come up here and do stuff. But I do wholeheartedly agree with that. And I think there's truth on both sides, but concretely, yeah, we can't teach men anything, but we can influence and be that safe space. But that's it. My responsibility is not to do more than that. I'm just giving you a safe space, and that's it. Trey Ferg, wipe that smirk off your face because I ain't doing more than that. Okay. Good night.
Thank
Y'all.
you
Good
so much,
night.
Lola. Can't wait
Good
to see you
night,
again
love.
next week.
And I just want to go on
Great
record
job.
and say with Lola leaving, I will do my best to stay on my best behavior.
Never,
Right.
never,
Lola give you that look and you
never,
just straighten
I
up.
don't
Can I
believe
just
that.
add,
never.
can
I
I
don't
add
believe
this to what Lola said? Uh, she stated that women can't teach men anything, which is correct and wrong at the same time. Women can start with young boys by teaching them the importance of what is it called? Being domesticated, meaning teach your sons how to clean their fucking rooms up, their little nasty ass rooms. Teach your sons how to take a bath and not always a shower. Get that old weak dirt off their cheeks. Sit in that water, in the warm water. It relaxes your muscles. Teach them how to wash their hair. Teach them how to wash dishes. Teach them how to do things that will help them be independent and self-sufficient to move out of y'all house or apartment as soon as possible. Now, as far as the emotional side, I think it's very important, and wife school heard me say this. Once your son's scrotum sac separate from his body, that's between the ages of 11 and 12, he needs a righteous man in his life. Some of y'all got fucked up brothers. Now, I'm not talking to the ladies on the panel. There's an audience. I speak to the audience. Some of y'all brothers is fucked up. Don't let your son hang around with your brother. He gonna fucking turn your son out. He gonna get him high, get him drunk, get him some cheeks. He might even try to take his cheeks because this is a new day in the man. So just be careful on who you let around your sons as men because those are influences, whether you see it or not. So, and listen, try to step away from if his father broke your heart. Giving your son to the father, he's going to protect your son with his life. He's going to give your son another side. Now, if he's a toxic man and he's always speaking bad about women, maybe he's not the one. There has to be somebody, an uncle, cousin, even the dude that keep cutting his grass every 2 days down the street could be a guy that you can at least just let him go talk to. And he can come to your house, sit on your porch. But a boy today needs a balance of information. He needs to understand that he can't bring that same energy that he does with girls around other men. Because
So,
other
sir,
men, yes, sir.
if I may,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to challenge you just a little bit. Um, what you're saying, there's true validation in what you're saying, right? As a woman, I should never try to teach a man character, and what you're speaking on is really attuned to character. However, I do feel you give me as a woman a small disservice because even as a grown man, there's much I can teach you. I can teach you a different way to love. I can teach you a different way that a woman can protect a man. I can show you a different way that I can cater to you. I can show you a different level of protection that you have never seen before. So to say that I can't teach you is really unfair. Although,
What,
in your basic premise, you're right. You're right. I'm not
what,
arguing that. I'm
what?
just saying if you have never seen it and I show you that, by definition, sir, that makes me a teacher.
Okay. But I didn't make that original statement.
No,
I was
I
just
that
responding
I
to
was
it.
just
Yeah,
adding to what you
yeah.
stated. I
But here's the
so
thing, though. Here's the thing. As a mother, you can't do it. You can show him how to be chivalrous, show him what it means to open up a door, pull out a chair, those type of things.
I,
But
hmm.
here,
I
but
just
here's
had
the catch.
my mother because she did a good job with me. So,
But
but
here's
I was getting ready. Thank you for saying so. Trey, please, I can't tell you how to talk, sir, but that is not a fact. I
okay.
raised my brother, and it is a like God has said, it's a disservice to us when you make it seem like now in one breath you saying for us to stay out of the spaces that men are in. I'm still trying to figure out where that's at, and then two, now we can't teach men nothing, but except if they're boys.
no,
That's not true.
I will say it's more natural for a man to give that information to a boy. It's going to take twice the amount of work for a woman to be able to do something that might be natural for a man to do. But I guess I'm influenced, and this is where guys say I'm pandering. So oh well. But I know a lot of super women. I know a lot of melanated super women, and they put you in the church, they put you in sports, they put you in activities where there are male influences to offset the things that they don't shine at and their best. I think the guys, when they say that women can't do it, they're oftentimes referencing the kind of women they never should have came inside of.
If I can add a point into that, I
I
think
agree with you,
um,
King. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, it's okay. I think from my perspective, I think that even though there are a percentage of women that have raised men, like as a woman, I would say that I can't raise a boy to be a man. I can only raise you to what I think my idea of a man is. So that's why I think having a man in the household or a man as an example is imperative, because there's other things that boys and teenagers and men are going to need that we as women can't provide. And sometimes that's why a lot of men are lost, because they've only had women examples and they haven't had any men to look up to. Like, if that makes sense. So they can only go based off of what they're learning now in their late 20s, early 30s. And we looking at them like, damn, why you ain't got it together?
And
You know what I
like
mean?
and
Makes
and
sense.
you
now,
know we always
Well,
we always
that
carry the conversation in the man and the woman, right? There's never the conversation of both, because where
yeah.
a father
Oh no,
could
it's vice
show
versa
the
for me, because
structure.
like, my husband can't teach my daughters to be women. He can teach them to be like, young ladies, or what he thinks a woman should be, but he can't ultimately teach them how to be women. I think it goes both ways.
You understand
Now,
that?
now,
just to slam that, just to kind of add on to it,
Hmm.
I get what y'all saying, but again, I'm gonna bring a different perspective because we are out here. I know other single. I'm a single woman with no children who
Hmm.
raised their brother and sister. It's a lot of us out here. We a
Chocolate.
different breed. We a different breed. I know that.
that y'all
And
are definitely
my
yes.
hmm? Go
I'm
ahead.
Chocolate.
agreeing.
Yes.
I was trying to
What
cut you
what
off.
what
Yes.
makes your situation unique and women that are like you is that you're coming with an unbiased mindset because you're looking at the child as a whole. So what I'm saying, you're not making excuses for children that are yours. You're saying, hey, there's certain thing you must do as a young man and a young woman. You're coming to that minds to these spaces with them unbiased. And unfortunately, a lot of us biased towards our children. My baby is a good baby, and it's the only dude out here wreaking havoc in the community. My baby is a good baby, but you don't even your daughter ain't even going to school.
Mm.
And I'm just saying it can be vice versa.
Hmm.
It can be vice versa
I
as
mean,
far as
but I think, yeah,
but,
I agree with you on that.
so that's a smaller community. Now, my brother, he spoke about the women that have been influenced during his family. Now, here's the difference, and then I can go back to the 60s and 70s. Women who had single families then, all of them damn boys were 6'9", big ass feet. They put the children first at all costs. They put the expectation on the child. They didn't allow the child. They didn't make excuses for their child, and they understood that they wasn't. I can be a mother and a father. No, they understand. I got a big ass brother that can come over and whoop your ass. See, your mama didn't care about your feelings and shit. See, this new feeling shit is what's fucking the man up because once I step outside of my house, I can't worry about my damn feelings. It's a whole dynamic where the men are, especially African American men, all of our numbers have been high as far as unemployment rates for the most part. We've had some of the highest, right? They getting even higher because at one time brothers was trying to get in those damn spaces they wouldn't let us in. Now brothers looking at that shit and saying, like, I ain't gonna do that shit. That shit too hard. I ain't gonna do that shit. I'd rather be online talking shit. Black folk, we number one in the world at probably talking shit. We got that on lock. We can talk shit in 5 different languages.
That's true.
Yes,
But we
indeed.
not acting on the shit. That's the problem. And listen, that's why I say it has nothing to do with women to me. Because as a man, always been attracted to the sister, didn't like no other race of woman, but a sister, burnt
Amen.
black blue to high yellow, whatever. I understand the behavior and I don't deal with the behavior as it pertains to me. But as a man, I say this as far as us, this is our greatest time because we're able to start seeing spaces we couldn't see before. The shift is coming, y'all. I don't know how many of y'all paying attention. These companies that moved out of America to get away from us young Gen Xers when we was coming out of high school with all these skilled trades, They said, no, we ain't gonna let y'all get these jobs. They ship that shit overseas. Guess what? They
You
coming
could
back
think,
to they
yeah,
coming back and they get ready to give them to the new ninjas because we get ready to be a lost tribe for real. People ain't
oh,
gonna have their high price apartments, and it's gonna take the men and the women from age 21 to 61 to find a way to work this shit out together.
But I just have to I have to push back, Trey. I think that we want to, I think we dumb it down. Y'all do yourselves a disservice by dumbing it down. It's like left or right. Y'all don't have, it's almost like y'all don't have nothing in between, and that's not true. There are talented, smart men, funny men, men who are scientists and built shit and created things. There are black men who have done so many wonderful things in our society. However, we don't see it because the opportunities aren't created. We don't have shows on TV. We don't have cartoons. We don't have movies. We don't have any of the things that are needed to see examples of what a good relationship look like.
But
I have no issue with what you say, other than the fact that it makes it sound like, and this is just what I feel when I hear you. It almost is like you don't want to blame us, but you blaming us. And
who's
it's
up?
like, oh
But
well,
why
I'm
can't
talking about,
why can't
and
we
that's
Who's up?
be the
fine.
change we want to see?
Who's
But
us?
that's
Who am I blaming?
okay.
No, who I'm
Okay.
asking. Who am I blaming? You said I'm blaming.
He said that we
I
live in the
said
greatest time. We're in the age of digital. We
it's
can make
not,
our own cartoons, go to Fiverr, pay somebody
that's what I'm saying.
$200 to make.
Right.
So but the thing is, you're saying that he said that it's not, but but we know
But
that
I'm
we have access to
saying
most things. But a
we do have access, but it's not happening. And that's where it is. The
it is
access is
happening
there. Our children need to see. If we always talking about kids, but if you look at television, if you look at what they look at, it has nothing to do with the things that we talk about.
because that's
Okay,
what
See,
we're feeding
we
it. We're
are.
in charge of what our children consume. If we're
yes,
not
I
guiding them, if
understand.
we're not reading, if we're not being up on things, like he just said, a lot of people aren't aware. There are companies that are bidding against single women all over in America that, and it's already predicted by statistics that most women will be childless and single by the year 20 uh 30 to 45. And so like people already know about us. People already know about how we moving. So the fact that we're not being aware of that puts us at a detriment already. We're already
Uh,
in the hole and it's going to
I'm
put us
just
deeper in the
saying,
hole. But
but I
it's up to
understand
us.
what you're saying. It
Yeah,
has that, but what I'm talking about is we don't have representation of what it looks like to
we
be
could,
in a
but we keep
positive. We
talking bad
could,
about it because
yes,
Okay,
we
I
but
said we talked bad about it, like
I'm
we said, the 50-year people reaching 50 years, even though it was bad or ups and downs. We ain't gonna say bad, we're gonna say
22
ups and
years right
downs.
here.
They had the staying power of exemplifying how you can stay in a marriage. Okay, we
22
don't have
years.
staying power because everybody want to leave. Nobody want to be the example because we just too busy. Like, I ain't gonna be staying around if I ain't happy. Well, you gotta choose somebody that's reputable, that has a name, that is doing something good. You know what I'm saying?
And you
So
got
you know
being happy.
but
I
we
that
spent
have to try.
there's hold on. I spent so much time looking out and placing blame at everybody else's feet. I was the only common denominator in my problem. So I have to fix me if I want to be different.
Right,
And so if I am looking for change, that is up to me to be that change. I am not
of
held
course,
to a standard that was created before I was born. If I want to be a woman who is fluid with my man, I need to learn my man and I also need to learn myself. It needs to be a yin and a yang. It can't just be what I say and it can't just be what he says. It's a mutual respect. And if I come up with roadblocks, you know what? Just sign me up for failure because I've set him up for failure.
well,
I'm
no, and I
sorry, I
don't
yelled.
disagree. No, you're fine. Please don't apologize. And also to you, Stephanie, I'm not arguing in that stance. What I'm saying is,
mhm,
yes, I am fighting to be the change I want to see.
right.
That's why I'm always trying to do what I, if I'm gonna say something, if I'm gonna be involved, I'm involved. And what I'm saying at all point is this: everything we talked about, yes, tangible things, how you act, what you looking like, so on and so forth. But to me, we are doing a disservice to all of us, men and women both. Instead of us just learning and teaching from one another, learning what you like, you learn what I like. We learn together, or find a way to work it out. Compromise, tell the truth about how you feel about things. That is not celebrated. That conversation, that depth, it has to be there for any positive relationship to work.
Yeah,
It
but
can't be all these, it's like all these rules and regulations when it should just be about all those things are going to fall into place if you and him are on the same plane. I don't know. I
okay,
just,
well,
y'all
baby,
just,
that's driven by values. That's driven by morals. We cannot separate. We cannot separate what we've been taught and raised to believe from what how we want to be free and fancy free when we get of adult. Other cultures, they are driven by certain principles. Other cultures are driven by certain morals. That's why they're ahead of the game. They prioritize us. We want to prioritize all this and the small things that don't really matter. Other cultures prioritize education. Other cultures prioritize family. Other cultures prioritize community, building, acquiring businesses, expanding. We don't stay together long enough to even take a part of these things, and it's available to us. We got the same 24 hours as anybody else, but we want to, step outside the lines, color outside the lines. Sometimes you got to sacrifice and stay in the lines enough to see the benefits of the fruit bearing. We're not there. And then we look at other people that do have it, and it's just small people, and you're like, man, that's just those small people. Oh, that's the same
exactly.
face. But no, I think we all have access to it if
I
we
think of
just
it
stick
like
to
a
it,
Yeah,
have
recipe.
the
It's like
discipline.
it's
I
like a
agree with
recipe,
you.
right?
But
So
there's,
when you
yeah,
first
there's no
learn a recipe,
universal though. Go ahead.
when
I'm
you
sorry.
first when you're first given
Hmm.
a recipe, right? You have it printed and you learn
Hmm.
that recipe, and then you're like, you know what? I think butterscotch would taste better in here. And you move away from that because then you're making it your own. And I think what she's saying and what you're saying is the same. It's just a path, right? It's an
Yeah.
opportunity to say, hey, these are struggles that I've seen in my experience. And she's alluding to, well, sometimes it's this, if you want to get here. And I think because we talk from our own experiences, sometimes we miss the context of what's truly being said. And I think that all of us are in the same space, right? We believe that there needs to be a mutual respect of each other. There needs
Right.
to be an understanding of the love language, making sure it's not just about you. There are certain gender roles that we look to as it comes to the discipline of the child. All of us are in agreement. We're just in different levels of the chessboard, right? We're looking at a 3D version. And I think that's, again, to bring it back home, is just to say that that's why it's important we keep having these conversations. It's just, we it would be nice if there were classes to show where the experience is being spoken
Right.
through and not
Yeah.
just the situation.
And
Should you guys
I'm
look at
just
the
saying,
Chinese
like,
people, or
why?
like Spanish people? Like they're like literally next door to us. Like, do you guys have conversations with people outside of the Black community and see
Oh
what they
God,
do to
yes.
make it work?
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah. I mean,
obviously it's not working with us. You got to look to somebody else, but not be in a jealous.
to,
You're like,
but
oh, you
I would, you know what? To your point though, I've had the opportunity, and I'm blessed that I've been able to travel the country. I haven't traveled the world yet, but I've traveled the country.
that's good.
Different people do different things regionally, how they do relationships. You see this, and
Mhm.
it's really enjoyable to see, because as you start to learn it opened my horizons as well. I
Right.
am mama. I just would like to see the happiness and the joy and the love within the relationship, instead of us always talking about the technical shit. Everything
Though,
else, if you want that, how do you get to that place, man or woman? I'm not saying we have all the answers. What I'm saying is we have a journey and we would like to share. However, if men have the attitude that emotions are something that something is kind of dirty, how do we then have a positive or solid foundation if it's already you believe this and can't nobody change your mind, I believe this and can't nobody change your mind, this is you a man, you a woman, and if you don't follow into these da 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 da, then it's not gonna work, and we know that's not true. It's about the emotional connection that you have with this person. That's why you even marrying them in the first place, unless of course it's about money or just some getting laid every time. But if we're talking about true connection and care and the descriptor of love, those conversations of, do you even know what happiness feels like? What is your level of happiness? What are you looking for peace and comfort in this life, even though there's chaos all around us, but we find our own peace within it. That's where I'm going with it. It has nothing to do with, oh, women being placed in different. That's not it. Our relationship skills with each other is not good.
Can I ask you a question?
Period and point blank. And
Can I ask
I'm
you a
done. Go
question?
ahead. You got it.
For everybody here, even in the chat, that saw and had an opportunity to experience a grandmother and grandfather, how many of y'all saw your grandfather cry outside
Never.
of outside of his
I
wife
maybe
maybe
I
passing?
never. My grandfather was a gangster. So was my father.
You know,
Yeah, I
outside of
saw.
his wife or somebody passing or something like that. How many times you just saw him crying on a regular basis or just
I
after
never
work
saw
or something?
either
You
one.
But I
never
mean,
saw
I get.
I can
Well, Trap.
appreciate the sentiment, but what does that matter? It
it mattered.
really is about
be-
no, please allow me to
I never get
finish.
to finish, but
What
okay.
it's okay. I mean, I will yield in just a second. I'm just saying, if I'm constantly looking back, if my grandfather, what if my grandfather was an abuser? Would I want to make that a mile marker?
Always the
Now,
worst.
I'm
But
not,
the
no,
grandmama
no, no,
was
no, no,
the
no, no. Will you allow me, please? I'm just saying, if my presence is right now, I need to pay attention to what he needs now, not what my grandfather needed 70 years ago. So if we keep having the conversations and not holding them to the present day issue, you're going to keep losing the audience because your values are not other people's values. Do you see what I'm saying? So
exactly.
although I can respect the sentiment,
Everybody,
there's not a lot of avenue for anybody else.
the point I was making before I was interrupted so kindly is that
At least it was kindly.
as men, as men, outside of our loved ones, we hardly ever show emotion. Outside of, we can't go to the job and get at our cubicle or desk and start crying, talking about our wife. Outside of that, we can't, there is like I said, if it comes to our family, our children, most men will get emotional. Most men will cry. If it's something that they know is dear to them, they will show that emotion. Unfortunately, we're getting too much emotion from both sides before we even get to a point. Our emotion is coming from hurt and pain and how much we don't like something. And it's not about me trying to convince, I don't try to convince anybody to do anything. I do know this though. It's 8 of us on here. If everybody threw out a nugget for someone to grab, hopefully somebody grab 2 or 3 of those nuggets if they missing those pieces to make their space and life better going forward. That's the thing, because we all evolve. Shout out to evolution. We all evolve as we get older. And it comes within decades. For women, it's in the decades. For men, it's every 4 years. And as most of us are now in our adult, and I say it all the time, no, no, I'm not jabbing at anybody. In our adult crack every years, we are dealing with that hurt and pain and emotion that we experienced as children, as adults.
Mm.
And the only reason
So
I bring up
I
some of
agree with
our
that.
past is because those morals and values that brought us through the end of slavery, Jim Crow, the civil rights movement, those things kept the community moving forward. Those things kept us, grandmama understood her role, wife understood her role, husband understood his role, children understood their role. That's why you could look back at that time and say, hey, how did all these people with no education coming out of slavery invent all this damn shit? And how's it that we've been going to fucking public school for 75 years and we dumb as hell?
Because
It
they
makes
wanted
no
it
sense
that
to
way.
me.
They wanted it that way.
Well,
The
if we
government.
wanted it, if we want,
No,
did
they
you say we?
did.
Hold on, did you say
You see,
we?
like
No, I
Listen,
said they wanted
Them.
it that way. You
listen,
know that it was engineered to
okay.
keep us from not knowing anything. I
It's been engineered since we've been over here.
Okay, so why are we pretending like we can't make any changes if we are aware that there has been engineered and set up to do the things that they do, especially with us, because again, they widen that gap between us. Let's not pretend like
But the way they
our
were able to,
journey,
but listen,
our
the way they were
journey
able to widen it is because, listen, it's more of you all than us. And
by
if any,
1 million, sir, by 1 million. That's
it's
it.
you
listen
know,
for
Between
every
men and
10,
women,
for every
I think
listen
two.
excuse
for
me,
every one
Are
of
y'all
us,
counting the
it's
excuse
men
me.
that's
10 of
locked
you
up?
all. For every
Do
one
you
of you all,
realize
it's
that
10.
we
For every one
always
of us, it's
argue the
10 of you
same
all.
bullet points? We always argue the same bullet points. How has that been effective?
How has
How has
what
that
been
been
Not,
affected?
effective?
I don't even get to
We
finish
no.
my
argue,
point.
we
Ladies,
we
Hold on, go
argue
ahead,
and we
Trey. Let
talk
that man finish, y'all.
ladies,
we talk
ladies,
the
la-
same
Let
things all the
him
time.
finish.
hey, ladies,
These
respectfully,
conversations are
y'all gotta
so
let that
Yeah,
man
but wait, let
repetitive.
speak
him
though.
finish, goddess.
You gotta let that man speak though.
Yeah, let him finish.
Let this
Go
be that
ahead,
one.
Trey.
Let's start by making this the safe space for everybody to be able to speak.
And I'm saying this. It's not about, again, who's right or who's wrong. Who is willing to take the stand where they are now to say, I want my space better for me going forward, my children, my slow
Me.
ass grandchildren, and everybody out there. Who's willing to be that one in your families when you go around your Friday night get togethers with all your cousins and everybody, and you got all your hairs did and your nails is did, and you talking about how you taking all that money? Who's gonna be the one that stand up, that's willing to get that backlash? Who's gonna do that? Who's
There's
gonna
a
tell
lot of
little Nell to stop smoking weed in front of the
It's
kids?
21 hours.
Who's going to be that person? Because it starts with each individual's home and each individual's mindset, is all I'm
well
saying.
that
Hold on.
but the thing about it is we're not going to change.
I want to make a
There are
really quick.
always going to be people who do those type of things. We're
That's
talking
facts.
about the present now. I apologize,
The
King. I didn't hear
present
you.
now.
Go ahead, baby. I had a
You know,
delay. Go
I
ahead.
want to say this really quick because I've never met a woman that got pregnant without a man. So,
Right.
fellas, here's what I think that we can do to start to change the tide. We've got to stop finding things first that the ladies can do and take the leadership in what we can do. I do agree there are several things that ladies can change. But one of the things that guys can proactively do is we can stop putting semen in people inside of people who are not taking our last name. We can stop putting our semen in people who have already not shown the ability to follow our leadership. That will hurt. Then you don't have to worry about telling her to stop smoking weed in front of the kids because you don't have kids for her to smoke weed in
With
front of.
her. Yeah,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
that's it.
brother,
Guys,
here's the thing.
That's it.
right now, we all know guys who come inside of a girl to keep the woman. He doesn't even have genuine intent for what he wants to do with the rest of her.
Right.
He's trying
Hmm.
to possess her womb in an attempt to possess her. So as long as there are savage men out there, it's hard to sit there and tell the women what the fuck they're supposed to do to keep themselves safe.
But brother, you proving my point.
The way.
Men
Oh, I'm
are
sorry.
holding men accountable. It
But they
wasn't a
are
space
not.
like this
No, bro,
before.
Men not
Listen,
holding men
listen,
accountable.
hold on.
I'm calling
If we
parents
grew up, listen,
them
if
on.
we grew up in the same neighborhood, we experienced the
Wait,
same BS.
did
How are
you
we
just
gonna hold
hold
each
up
other
a
accountable?
host?
Now, brother, men are able to speak outside of their comfort spaces. I can get a message to you in California in real time to say, brother, you have to be better. You can move better. Don't get a woman pregnant. I've been saying this since I've been in this space. If you be a fool to get a woman pregnant today, out of wedlock, your ass will be broke. Your
It's
ass
not even
will be
about
broke.
having sex.
Damn,
I
shorty.
mean, it's not even about having children. You should be preaching. You shouldn't even be having
It's
sex.
about teaching.
You need to be more conservative with your body in the first place, because if you're going to be
Other
picky
women
about your,
that's what the
it,
women have to understand from other
but it's
women.
also with the
What
men too, because the men are not picky with the women that they're choosing to have sexual encounters with, and then they complaining more about the women than the women are the men.
So how
But in
listen, I can
reality, the men
understand
are
that
just trying to twerk the
if you
women
in
so
your
they can
late
get a
teens,
little bit of
20,
sex out of them. And
I
then
can
once you
understand
get
that.
the sex and
These
realize you
people are
guys have
getting
nothing in
pregnant and
common,
having babies at
then you guys
35 and
have other
40.
another
Come on,
conversation.
man. Make it make sense. If you 20,
because
21,
they having
yeah,
sex. That's it. Point
That's
exactly.
blank
literally
blank.
my whole point.
Everybody's
They're
having
literally having
unprotected
sex.
sex.
Okay, so I mean, but that's how we got the people here that we do. If you don't,
Oh,
ain't no
my death
people be
party.
made.
It's not
Hello?
just
But it's the
Yeah, there are
truth.
people, and there are lots of mistakes too.
come
So
on,
They
man.
y'all
exactly.
trying
And
Correct.
hold
And the
on,
whole
have
point
a
of
I
this
baby,
even
conversation
then
is to
it
find
wasn't even supposed to go
solutions
that
on how
far.
we
The
can
next thing you
teach
know, boom, you
people
have your
That's what
kid.
we're
to be
giving
better.
solutions.
You know,
This is
And
why I
I
needed a
think a part
spark.
of a
There you go.
solution that I would like to bring to the table is to start preaching to our younger generations, or even the generations that we're sitting in and older. Stop having frivolous sex. That's where we can start.
right?
Yep.
Everybody likes to jump into relationships because they want to have sex. And then once the money's gone, the thrill is gone, then you realize you have nothing in common, but you have these kids, and now you have nothing else to do with these kids. We need to
Mhm.
start at the root of the problem. The root isn't that people are talking to one another. It's the fact that you're choosing to sleep with one another before you know one another. And then when you look up, you got all these babies, no goals, nothing in common, and nowhere to fucking lead these babies. For real.
Right.
Hey, I agree. You get what I'm saying?
I'm a
And
huge,
this is the
huge.
thing. This stuff is gonna happen more often because we got the Gen Zers now. They don't believe in marriage, and
They
all they
believe in
want to do
sex.
is have sex, and they don't even
Mm-hmm.
want to be boyfriend and girlfriend no more. So we definitely gonna
but
have these issues
can
again, more often.
but that's what I'm saying. To your point, we don't make it sound inviting. The way we talk about relationships, we don't make it sound exciting and inviting. We make it sound like it's some kind of duty, or it's some you better do this or you better do that. It makes people feel like, damn, let's get there first. Let's learn how to communicate with each other before we even get to the part of marriage. Because again, everybody's definition of marriage would also be different.
But relationships are serious. The hookup culture is the mindset now. And we be like, oh, but we should be
That
whatever. And then we're selfish on
I
top of that.
agree.
And we're transactional
but
on top of that.
uh,
But when I get sick or when you lose a chest and you need somebody to be there when you're sick, those are real issues. When you have, you're going through
Mm-hmm.
life and you're paying the bills, those are real issues. Real relationships are boring in a sense because it's monotonous. You're with the same
no, no,
person
no,
that
no. I
you're
think
choosing to love every day.
but I
Shit.
think you're taking what I'm
But
saying.
it's no, but it is like that. We can't glamorize something that
Why
isn't
not?
necessarily
Why
happy all
not?
the time because
Well, if
it's
But
we're
not
why?
gonna
true.
glamorize the hookup
That's
What's
why
not?
they
culture, then
talk
we
about
Oh
can't be
Disney.
wow.
Hold
crazy
on,
with
That's
hold
why
don't
on,
they
hold
talk
on.
nobody
about
want us
Disney
and
all the
Wait, wait,
we
time
wait,
because
wait,
want
wait,
people
One
wait,
to
mic,
want
wait.
the
y'all.
babies
One
and
What's
mic.
nowhere to go.
it's
what's
not
not true?
glamorized.
What's not true? What do
What?
you say is not true, sister?
Who?
You with the dark hair, you.
Oh, I don't have a lighter, babe.
I didn't say
Which
anything
one? We
about
all
nothing
got
being
dark hair
true.
I'm
here.
sorry, the young lady that was just speaking.
White skirt
I think
next to you.
black
I
and white.
said
Oh,
relationships
Stephanie. Okay.
are serious.
Okay.
That's
Uh,
what I said, and we can't glamorize something that sometimes is ugly, ups and downs. We all said from our experiences or what we heard that it wasn't glamorous all the time.
that's
And that's how it is. And
But
it's
sometimes if
And
you
then
love
if I
I'm
could
them,
gonna
also just
you
add a
can
little
have
piece
good,
to
healthy
that.
people that
Mhm.
come together that haven't been scathed by traumas, that haven't been scathed by laying the hands on or SA. Like there's some people that are lucky to have that. But for the
but
most part, there is like we talked about baggage. There are things that we are bringing in. There's
yes,
insecurities that we're bringing in. But the
I
best thing we can
agree
do,
with
okay,
you. I
yeah,
agree with you. But just because I like I don't think you're taking a dig at me, but I'm gonna say
no,
this.
no, no.
I am a free spirited person. I have
Mhm.
allowed myself to be me, all me, flaws and all. I take them. I'm self-aware. I know
Mhm.
where I'm great, I'm strong, I'm not strong. So I don't be speaking from a place of hurt. I'm speaking from a place of trying to understand if we want to see our community thrive, there are certain things that have to happen in that place. We
facts.
know that there is a dynamic that has to go. How am I? And I'm gonna play this real quick. So me and my husband, we young. We right now we here. Rent is crazy. Housing is crazy. Food is crazy. Gas is crazy. The whole nine. Hell yeah, it's expensive to have a child. That's why people are not signing up. They charge you almost what 30, 60 G's just to have your baby in the hospital and then kick your ass out. So it's just like, you gonna charge me? I gotta pay. Yes, children are a blessing. But what I'm saying is the reason why we continue to copy the same shit is because again, we have to have the conversation of be who you are. Find out who you are. Love yourself before you decide to get in somebody's life. And just because there's happiness there, and that's
Can
what
I ask a
I'm just
question
saying.
for you?
I'm a land on this.
Mhm.
You should
When
learn
you
that.
were talking about it, hold on. When please, when you are trying, oh, that's me. Let me mute. I don't know why.
So
A
let me
lot
ask
of
you
the things that we're missing
I
as
think I might.
adults
I'm
stem
sorry.
from
I'm so
when
sorry. I had a
we missed
question
them
for
as a
her.
child.
I'm so sorry if she comes back. But my question is that besides finances, like say if you were rich, what would be the other objectives to not wanting to have children? Because the only things that I heard in your reasoning were financial reasonings.
Oh, yes. If I could afford it and I was in a relationship, yes, I feel like I should have enough money before I produce another life in this world.
Okay.
That's just because it costs. It costs. It costs a lot to make sure that you give your kids the tools they need to survive in this society. That's, I mean,
Well, I mean, yeah, no, but I mean, like compared to now to then, okay, women are having
Mm.
14 kids, 9 kids, surrounded by little people, and they've done just fine. There are aunts, there are uncles, there are family members. So, I mean, yes, don't have more than what you probably can't have. If you want to have one or two, then that's cool. But it really doesn't take insurmountable. It doesn't take a whole bunch to raise children. I mean, if you want them to have particular lifestyle, that's on you. If you want them in Gucci and things, but it really doesn't take that much. It really is about teaching them how to be good adults in society,
no,
and that comes for free. That's
I,
not money or
and
it's funny
What
that
are
that
the
Sorry.
always
tools?
If I could just
in
add a
this
tip of advice,
in
because you,
in
oh, I'm
this
sorry, Goddess.
conversation in this conversation we've spoke to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is us. It's us. We are the problem.
Thank you.
Let me ask y'all something.
okay.
You see this right here? This has been my whole thing. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all don't think it's like over for us? Like it don't matter what we want? Because you gotta think about it. You get what I'm saying? Technically, Gen Z, it's their time now. Like I'm just saying, because that's what I be thinking sometimes. You gotta say I kind of got like a Gen Z mindset almost. Because I'm like, I could like a man 30 years, you know what I'm saying? And I don't care about no title, you know what I'm saying? Just where you at, son, when I need you. Like, and I'm okay with that. You get what I'm saying? Like I told y'all before, I got 2 wedding rings, and I probably had them for the rest of my life and never get married. You get what I'm saying? Just the other day I was going for a record. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm okay with that. As long as I'm around, I can spend time with you. Marriage is like something that if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like a lot of people are starting to develop that mindset. Like when we talk about grandma and grandpa, I really think grandma was a slave. She was codependent on grandpa. And I feel
Man,
like
man,
grandpa was a
come
304.
on,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? A highly publicized 304, you got what I'm saying, that couldn't keep it home. You got what I'm saying? How many hats did that brother wear? And we had a lot of granddaddies like that and
Come
grandmas like that
on.
that
I would
stuck.
just hold on.
Now,
I
Really?
we
just
women that are
I would
powerhouses.
Really?
Hold on, y'all, hold
I
on.
would just
Now,
like to
we
call
are women that are powerhouses.
Grandmamas.
Like, if not, I make probably more money than the men that I'm ever going to date. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't, and I'm not going to say we don't need men because we all need each other. But if I have to go on with my life without you, sir, I think I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I put that work in 12 years on my job. I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be
Evolution.
okay.
and hold on.
You know?
I just wanna point out when I made a reference to the fact that you look back with your expectational view on the past, you laughed me off and said, she just did the same thing and you did the same thing. Where's the base in that? So if you're the only person that can look back to assign value on situations, this is not a fair discussion. That's what I keep trying to bring to the focus. We are the problem. We are looking at each other and we're asking each other these things to make an assessment on a whole conglomerate of people when we ourselves are individuals. Why can't we discuss what we would do to be the change? Why do we always have to ensure that it's somebody else's fault?
I think a part of being like a part of having an effective solution is figuring out where the problems are and where they lie. If you can't diagnose where the problems are coming from or direct them solely at something, then how can you expect to come up with effective resolutions when we're still trying to figure out where the problems are and who they're with? I think this is a part of the homework. Like I think it just goes hand in hand.
But we definitely need to talk about it. I don't know if we throw in, some of us throw blame, some of us don't. You know what I'm saying? It might sound like that. This is great to talk about it though, because somebody is going to pick this conversation up, regardless of where they are, and it's going to help them. You get what I'm saying? Even if some of us are set in our ways. So it does, trust me, these conversations help. It helps to see people that look like us talk about these situations. You get what I'm saying? And not nonsense like we keep seeing on a lot of these social media apps. So this is very
Oh,
good.
excuse me. I'm sorry, Evolution. I do have a little bit of a lag where I am, so I'm not intentionally trying to interrupt people. Okay, I just want y'all to know. But I do want to say, who said, was that Jam or Goddess who finished talking? Who
It was
who
Jam
just
then Goddess. So
okay? So it was both of them talking. Okay. I want to say that I appreciate. That's why I love coming to these panels because I know that there are Black women out there like myself who on this not all we all agree on the same thing, but we all are trying to carve our way in life that is going to be the best for us, right? We all want a segment of us want the best for us as well as our community. And I kind of wanted to answer the question. That's why I was asking who was speaking, because I like when we talk about what we do instead of generalizing everybody, because we know that we don't know everyone. All men don't do this, all women don't do that. We have experiences, every single one of us, and they dictate and help decide who we become as human beings. That's why I said that earlier to you, Trey, about raising a child. No, I can't tell him, oh, this is what men do, life, da 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 da. But as a human being, I can give him the characteristics or assess his and help him, you know, be better in that way. And that's what you do in a relationship as well. I taught plenty of my boyfriends how to do shit. I know how to work on a car. My boyfriend didn't even know how to change a tire. So it's like I didn't know that in the beginning. I'm not gonna use that as I ain't gonna be with you because you can't change your tire. Well, you can't change it. Move over, I'll do it. That I mean, just and it has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. It's just him and I have each other's back. And it's like nobody does this cookie cutter shit. No one.
Shout
It
out to
is, I love you and I want to be with you. If it's for finance, if it's for stability, if it's for love and all the others, you are blessed to find it, right? All I'm saying is for me personally, and I've said it and I'm going to keep saying it, I wanted to see change. So that's what I'm trying to do. I see homeless men that are able to work, but they can't get into a place to stay. I see families and all those type of things. So for me, I was like, I can't be out here just talking shit. I want to actually do something to assist people because you need a home. Finances are a huge thing when it comes to relationships. People break up over it. And it's just about, and no pun intended, but let's talk about the evolution of us. What are we doing now? How can we talk to one another? What questions do we need to set aside? Because I agree, we are the problem. We need to sit down, put your machismo down. I'm putting my pride down. Let's have a conversation and not make it a competition because that's what it feels like.
I can't help
You
change
know,
the world.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I can't help change the world if I'm unwilling to change myself first. And I need to recognize where I express and show weakness because
Right.
that's what's important to me. It's not even about the husband, it's not the other people, it's about me. I need to be the best representation because I'm the change. Integrity is something that can't be taught, it has to be witnessed. Why am I depending on other people all the time? There's it's time for me personally to start showing what integrity is. So if that means that if the man that's coming into my life says, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this man right here, if that man is my friend, he's going to understand that my man comes first. If that friendship is true, it's going to be there. If that relationship ends, or once my man understands that my loyalty is to him, it's not that I'm making a sacrifice. And I think that's where we miss a lot of it is we always look at what we're going to have to do without. We never look at what we're going to gain. And I would much rather look at what I'm going to gain because that is more attractive to me. I
I
yield.
definitely agree on that part. If I'm sorry, the part where you said about if you had a friend and your man wasn't comfortable with your man friend, you would get rid of that friend. I think I agree on that aspect. I know a lot of women may not. And like just all the way down to something simple like an outfit. Like if my man doesn't like that outfit, I'll change that outfit. It's not a sense of control, but it's more of a respect thing for my partner.
But I guess I want to ask Jay Jerome because he been so active.
Yeah, he
What's
active. Thank you, player. I'm glad he
oh
here though. He
look,
kind of
Come
turning
on,
it
bro.
up.
listen, I don't miss much, right? And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
sir, I don't know. You take a lot of liberties with thinking that you know women so well, and
Come
I
back next
find
week.
it
I want you on the panel.
I
And
find
yeah,
it
it is
interesting.
the meism talk because I'm talking about me. That's my experience.
Right. Shouldn't we
So
talk about ourselves? We watch people talk about shit all the time on television, on video. We all talk about different shit. So
Yeah.
what's the hubbub, bub? It is an issue. We do have things that need to happen. And like I said, I know I can't change everybody. That's not my goal. My goal is try to spread some love and some happiness and some joy because I don't see it. And
It's
then it's
funny to
like, oh,
me that
we're not allowed to have that in the relationship too. Let's talk about that part. That's all. Go ahead, you got it. I'm
it's
sorry.
it's funny that we hear discussions that women are unwilling to hold themselves accountable. Women are always victim blaming, victim shaming themselves. They're doing all of these things, right? You are sitting here on a panel of women willing to hold themselves accountable, and you're finding fault with that. And yet you think we're the problem, sir. Please have a seat.
say that.
And can I say this? Because I'm all about women empowerment, right?
Yeah, we
But
know.
thank you. Yeah, I'm
We
saying I'm superwoman. If y'all didn't know
so
evolution, I'm the change that y'all need
I
and y'all
know.
want to see. All right. Now I'm just put that disclaimer out there. That's gonna be a good clip later. But this is it. We as women need to know our power. Whether it's in the way we talk, it's the way we look, it's the side eye. You get what I'm saying? It's the motion. Everything about us is powerful. That's why I had this idea to bring all of us sisters together. Now, if y'all think there is women, men also that's watching this and something ain't moving around in their head, and that this is for nothing, oh no. Now, I'm looking at a different thing than y'all looking at. I got 4 different devices running at the same time. I see people coming out. You get what I'm saying? I'm seeing the comments. I can't really, hit on every one of them. Shout out to my Instagram family, my Facebook family. It's a lot of Army for Life. Thank you, Queen Robert, L. Hines. I shout y'all out. Midnight, thank you, Mama, because she's stuck in the whole show. You get what I'm saying? They see this and this is helping. You get what I'm saying? Now, I didn't see a lot of accountability on the men. Well, King had it. You get what I'm saying? Trey, we had him. halfway. Trey, we gonna get you there. But you know what I'm saying? I got a special place in my heart for Trey. You know what I'm saying? That's Zaddy. You know, we gonna get him there because he started off right. This something switch. I think it was Jay Jerome. I think it was Jay Jerome. Please make sure you come back. But let me tell you something. This is helping people. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes we can't talk from an I all the time. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to talk from what we see. You get what I'm saying? And what we think needs to be changed, whether it be right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to throw your opinion out there and see who it lands on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who it changes. Because it does. Let me tell you something. If people don't understand now how powerful the Black voice is, you get what I'm saying? Whether it's male or female, I'm more into the female thing. You know what I'm saying? But we are powerful people. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. Evolution.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe wholeheartedly in my people. You know what I'm saying? You tell me this show ain't going to change some things. Let me tell you something. The brothers' minds, the sisters' minds, they're going to change. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like that we need to keep doing this. You get what I'm saying? Because I've seen the positive effects that's in my DMs. You get what I'm saying? That's, you know, they sending me messages and stuff like that. I don't always tell y'all about them, but it is working. You know what I'm saying? And it's a powerful thing
We
when you see
appreciate you, Swift. We appreciate you, sis.
thank you.
We
And I
appreciate
cannot
you.
do it without any one of you queens. I need every one of you queens. I'm gonna say
I'm
that again.
there. You got me. You
Every
got me on
one of
Thursday, sis. You got me on Thursday.
yes. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that I believe in that. I believe in that. I understand you because like we was talking before we went live.
Yes.
I'm hardcore. I play hard. I live hard.
Yes.
Like I enjoy life because I was given it, right? And so if I enjoy talking to other women because of course we all grew up with, oh, don't have too many women as your friend, don't have women around your man, just silly shit like that. Being raised to not trust each other. Bougie, I love you. Thank you for coming. But it is the truth though. Like I really am like, come on, let's be better, let's do different. Nobody's making us live this way. We can change it. Like you
Yeah,
said, Ferg, this is the time. We got information out the ass. And you can find out whatever. You could create you a business. You can start different projects if that's what you want to do. We have the ability to deal with each other from across the world, and we still up here talking about bullshit. Okay.
But here's the unique thing about this time is that these conversations are needed because at one point we were married and building family and community.
I was never married, Trey.
No,
I
listen,
was never married.
but you know,
I ain't even talking to you. I ain't even talking to you.
We're
I'm
talking
like I don't even see you. What I'm saying is, you know that the community space that you talk about that you're trying to build, at one point we were there. And at some point, and I can always refer back to my favorite time, the crack era fucked all that shit up. Even with the feminist movement and public housing, because most of us say, and we go back, man, I lived in the projects. But guess what? Your mother understood the value of that. She made sure, because when I look at the statistics, Burst, if you can go to any state, we were graduating high school at 80%, getting a GED at 18%. That's a 98% approval rating. You could come out of high school and get the same type of job today, making $34,000. Back then, at 18, 19 years old, you can go to the military. A lot of us Gen Xers, they tricked us with the bag to say go to college. We were getting
Now,
bachelor's,
yeah,
master's, and
they
PhD.
did get us. They
Wait a
did
minute.
get us.
Well, see, everybody seen that like the generation before didn't get tricked. So when we got to this space, when the crack came in, it took the mothers out the home. So now you had young children surviving. And this is where we are for the last 30, 40 years. Our most unique generation of adults, that 21 to 41, you motherfucker, not saying you, not cussing at you, nobody, but you motherfuckers ain't getting along. Y'all fucking, but ain't nobody building nothing. Everybody's
Exactly.
me. So at
so
some point, and this is the gray area of these conversations because it's relatively new. This relatively new, and it goes for both men and women. If I live in Texas and ain't no good women in Texas, and I'm just working at Amazon, I can always relocate. I ain't got no hell of a job. It ain't like any of us over the last 20 years got hell of a fucking careers where we work at Ford, fucking Taco Bell, you know. So
Right.
it's a great time for you to look at your asset. I thought COVID would give us a better future, but COVID just exposed our disadvantages even more,
Yes,
our
yes, it
disconnection,
did.
and our mental incapacities because there was a time when a lot of the young men were being placed on medication. And these motherfuckers are grown now, 6'4", still trying to figure out what the fuck happened. It's a lot of brothers just getting out of penitentiaries because of the behaviors they had back in the early mid 80s and 90s. It's some of
Mm-hmm.
y'all right now still live in the same neighborhood where the person who might have took your brother out, that protector, that uncle, is still walking around. So it's a
Sir,
trauma on
no,
both sides. I'm
I'm
sorry.
And
gonna
that,
forgive you
but
because you
go
really
ahead.
sound like my uncle. So I'm gonna forgive you, okay?
But
Because you
it's
keep
just
bringing in statistics, and people are always variable. I do believe that there is value in numbers, right? Yet we're seeing a difference because we, the adults, are are raising our kids different. And so still brings back ownership. But if we're always looking back, holding people accountable for a lifetime that was completely different, you're doing them a disservice. There's
So
so
how do
many
okay?
changes. There's so many
Right.
changes. There's a way that you can still hold true to the elements that you're wanting to hold on to, again, through that character element. Yet there's got to be some adaptation as the times changed. Because
So
if you're just stuck in the past on what the past used to be, you've set me up for failure again.
no,
The
I'm not going
goddess.
to live up
If
to
you
that.
don't,
no,
If
you
I
know
can
the
that has
say,
phrase.
not.
if
You
you
know the
don't
phrase. The
really
phrase is,
know,
if you don't know your history, you're doomed to
yep,
repeat it. If like if you don't know that such and such had these problems, how do you even know to fix anything? So yeah,
correct,
we need to go back. We need to revisit things so
And
that we
correct.
can do things
And like
better
it's
and do
even
things
coming
more
So
down to
I
where
efficient.
they're
okay,
not
And the
so
even
fact that
I
you
coming
just
want to
want
down
just
to
to
leave it
ask,
like,
there,
in
where in due
in
time you want to dismiss it,
okay,
is going to
I just
put
want
us
to
in a
ask,
worse position and
I want
make
to
it even
ask,
more
what does me
worse.
looking back on the Black community have anything to do with how I'm going to love my singular man?
well, it
A
may not
lot.
do anything for
huh?
you, but
So you won't repeat the
if
mistakes.
other people
Huh?
understand their history and really get in tune with
Because
what's
we don't
happened to
understand it.
our men, then we may have a better understanding of how we can love them back to where all of our problems may have originated from. History
Exactly.
matters. What has happened to our people has mattered, and if we're not aware and if we don't talk or acknowledge those things, then history can definitely repeat itself because nobody's expecting it to happen again.
And none of you realize that in these conversations, we are a repeat of history. There's no evolution just in our conversation. We're still pointing the
Yeah.
finger at,
Human
we're still
nature
looking
does not
out and
change.
pointing blame. I'm just
I
Who's
holding
think
you
it
to
has
doing
a
that?
your
to its
own,
own type of
I'm
thing
just
because if you
holding
don't
you
think
to
that if
your
you
own
don't think
standard.
My,
personally that the
to
I'm
my
community
holding
point.
you,
or black
I'm
Okay, wait,
people
holding
wait.
you
didn't
One
to
mic.
see
your own
Let him
progress
standard.
let
in
him rebuttal.
slavery, then that's your own opinion. You can't
Yeah.
say just because you think people haven't made any progress, that means we haven't made any
That's
progress.
some
Like
bullshit
that's your
right there.
opinion.
Right.
And
Because you keep
it's
saying
really
don't bring up
unique.
statistics, but that's what makes the world. Numbers make the world. Everything is a
It's
statistic. So how are you
it's
telling us
Because
to
white
unique.
take the
people look at
numbers
that
out
shit
of
every
it?
day.
Something that's
It's unique
proven.
that you're not allowing it, just because it's always worked doesn't make it right. So it's just a
Well,
different voice.
what do you
It
want us
I'm
to
not
base the
sure, it's
information
not
off
it's
of?
One at a time, ladies. One at a time.
we
It's
are
not making
just,
any
if
sense.
this is a conversation, right? If you notice, I keep bringing it back to self, yet you willingly keep wanting to look out and cast blame.
It has
So we're
nothing to
gonna
do
always
about what
gonna
I
be
acknowledge
at
with myself.
odds.
My own
We're
personal
always
self is
gonna
in
be at
how I'm giving back
odds.
to the
Yeah.
community because the
Yeah.
problems in the community don't
But
have anything to
again,
do
I
with
don't think
how
I
I felt
Hold
about
agree.
on, let him
myself.
finish, guys. Let him
I'm
finish.
comfortable with me. I'm not comfortable with what's going on in my community. So those are two
exactly.
separate things. So what are you talking about right
Exactly.
now?
I'm
I
not
agree with
trying
that.
to marry my community. That's what I'm
Well,
Yeah, but
don't
talking
see,
marry
about.
your
You want
community.
wait,
I'm
Well,
wait,
that's
cool.
why
wait,
we
wait.
I'm
fair.
Time
cool
out.
with
Wait
my
a
We were
minute.
talking
That's
You're
why we
we were
fair.
saying that
talking,
you need to
you know,
feel
we were
good
Yeah.
talking
yourself
about
to gain
relationships,
access to
but we
your
never
What
community.
that
talk about
mean?
ourselves.
Like, I don't understand. You're saying because I'm comfortable with
That means
myself, because you're not comfortable with you, you can't do back for your community. That's not the same for me. So, like I said, that's your own opinion.
Right.
I'm comfortable with me.
Where did I
The
say
work
that?
that the work that I have to do on myself has nothing to do with the work that needs to be done in the community.
Yeah.
I can still acknowledge those problems while also acknowledging myself. You're saying two things can't be worked on at one time? That sounds
Oh,
kind of
sweet.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet baby
Yeah.
girl. Please
Oh
don't
no, I'm
ever
not your sweet
allow
baby
yourself
girl. I'm not
to
your sweet
make
baby
that
right,
girl.
lady?
I'm
assumption.
not your sweet
If
baby
Okay.
it
girl.
Yep.
don't,
I'm not your
if
sweet baby
you're
Come
girl.
on,
making
ladies.
You
Come
didn't
on,
address
Be
any
ladies.
of the
respectful,
other women in
lady.
the
No, it
chat
gotta
that
be
way,
had,
so
Miss
don't
you're
address
Chocolate.
me
making
that way. I'm not your sweet
every
nothing. I'm not
okay,
your
but
sweet baby girl. I'm not your
Let me
baby
ask y'all a
every
girl.
question.
time every time
Wait,
I
let
speak,
them get it
you
out.
never
Let them get
you
it
don't
out.
you don't allow me to finish.
Hold up,
I
Irie.
don't
Hold up,
have
I
to
hold up,
allow
love
you to
Irie.
finish
Come
when
on,
hold
you're
man.
on.
trying to
You
demean
don't
me in
You
allow
your
me to
started it
statement.
every time.
I'm
I
really
Trey,
not.
baby
Trey,
girl. So
let
if
him
you
finish.
want
Let
your
him finish.
message to be heard, then
I'm
address me with the same
not.
respect that you're asking for. I'm not your
You
baby girl, and if you want your message to
but
be
if
heard, then
you
you address
step
me like the woman that I am, not like
once
your
you
child.
step once you
No,
step
no, no, no,
into a
no, no. Once
space where
you
it's
step
personal,
out of
I'm
line with
gonna
me,
make
I'm
it
going to get you
personal.
back in it with
I
me
was
before we're
not
going to move
making it
forward, or
personal.
you're not
How
going
did
to
y'all
You're
get here?
address me,
taking it
period.
personal.
You can, because
You're taking
you
it
address
personal.
me as your sweet baby girl. You have not addressed
Because
anybody else on the
at
panel
Call her
that
Jam,
way.
goddess. That's her name. Her
I
name
don't
realize
is
rock with
Jam.
it. I told
do
you to
you
clean it up and you have a
That'll
problem
settle it.
with that.
okay,
So
you
like
know
I
what? I
said, don't
apologize
speak
for
to me,
upsetting you.
speak to
I
other
can
people.
apologize. I can
That's it.
apologize. We are polar opposites, and I can respect that. However, I'm not trying to take away from what you're saying. What I'm saying
That's
is,
exactly what you're doing.
we,
You literally listened to my
you,
statement about what could be changed in the community. And then the
okay,
next thing out of your mouth
but
verbatim was, is I think it's ironic how anybody else can place blame on the community and not look at themselves. So how are you telling me that I'm not look like, what are you talking about? You said it verbatimly to me.
do you realize I also said that if I'm unwilling to change myself, I can't help
You
the
said that
community? Because
beforehand.
if you're
You said that
going out,
almost two statements ago that had
okay,
nothing to do
you know
with what
what?
I
You
was
win.
talking about. You
You
said
got
that
this.
beforehand. You didn't
You're
say
right.
that during. If you can't remember
Absolutely.
what you said during the moment, then you can say that, but I remember verbatimly. So don't try to change it into something that it was
I'm
not.
not trying to change anything. I'm
Okay,
not
so
trying to
focus on the
change
topic at
anything,
hand.
Can
You didn't address
which
what
is
you
what I
agreed in your
did.
statement to me.
I'm
You
trying to
The
figure
well,
out.
addressed that
conversation,
previously
the
before I even
conversation was
started
about
speaking.
relationships.
It's
You
So
your
the
said
the
fault.
what you said
conversation was
before
about
I even started
relationships.
the
speaking. And then I
conversation
said
was
what I
about
said, and
Trey.
then you
You
tried
know
to
what?
say
Every
something
time I
different.
But
speak,
And
we,
you're
I
gonna
said
cut
what I
me off.
Let's
said.
So
just agree to
you got
disagree.
it.
That's it.
It is an
You
You got
got
agree to
this.
this.
disagree moment, but
You
don't
got
yeah,
disrespect me.
this.
She didn't call
right.
anybody else baby girl, and I'm a grown ass woman, so address me as
Nobody
such.
else keeps
Nobody
cutting
got
me
like, what are you
off.
talking about?
Nobody
The
else is
point,
preventing me from having a solid
hey,
thought.
yes, you can have ladies, the
What
thought,
are you
but it's
talking
still
about? This
on your
conversation has
individual
been
level.
going
Let's
on
you
three
said the
hours
same.
and
thing.
Let
Let's
me
ten
make
take
a
a
point.
minutes.
deep
Let
breath.
me make.
I have barely
It's
spoken the
okay.
whole conversation. What are
It's
you
Let's
talking
okay.
take a
about? This is
deep
not a
breath.
You're right.
conversation that just started. This
I
conversation's been going on for
apologized.
3 hours.
I apologized, and yet we continue.
Because
I
you keep
accept.
trying to come with
I
something separate in your apology. I apologize, but each time you apologize and say
there's
a
no
but
but.
in it,
I
I'm
was
going
just
to
gonna.
address the but. What are you talking
Okay.
about?
I was gonna say I apologize. That's
Okay,
all
I
I'm gonna
accept your
say.
apology.
I
Okay.
Let's move
would.
forward. It is
Okay.
what it
Okay,
is.
Then
I
wait,
already
wait,
I,
move.
said
wait.
it's
Hold
cool.
on. We
Then
did.
yay.
move.
I already said
I
it
would.
is what it is.
I
Period.
would
Yeah.
like to ask Jams. I would like to answer Jams' question whenever we get to that place. I know you about to do something. I just want to say I liked her question and I wanted to answer. And then go ahead. Y'all got it. I know what you was going to do, evolution. So go ahead.
Oh well, all I was gonna say was, we people are starting to leave because I know we've been on here for a while. We've been on here like 3 hours, like we killed it. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple of kinks and stuff like that, but we figured them out. You know what I'm saying? It'll run way smoother next week. You know what I'm saying? I want to see everybody back next week. I want the remaining people that's here from all the stuff we talked about today. You get what I'm saying? I want y'all to give y'all final thoughts. I think everybody was great on the panel. The people that's not here, you know what I'm saying? Y'all were great. I appreciate y'all. I'll probably be sending y'all thank you letters or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And making sure I get up with y'all next
I'm
week so we can get
glad
something.
you
Yes.
created
Herb,
something
we
really
need you back.
awesome.
Yes, Jam, that's my sis, so she'll be back. God is my sis. All y'all are my sisters. Stephanie, man, listen. Stephanie, stop cooking. You know what I'm saying? She went and got pretty for the kid.
Right. She
You
said
know what I'm
that.
saying? Y'all give it up to Stephanie. I'm gonna have me a soundboy here next week, probably. You know what I'm saying? Get some food. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, Stephanie?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Let's have some fun. She.
Yes.
Can't we?
And I got the queen chocolate to actually cam up. It has been a great night.
That's what you call me.
And she's beautiful. This is a beautiful thing, right?
I love it.
Yeah,
I loved
see?
it.
Okay, Smiler.
Hey, horrible.
I love when conversations get feisty like that. So I
Yes,
really
yeah.
I had no emotion, no upset, no nothing. We are just on
No,
opposite
we
ends.
all
And
good.
once I
Talk to
recognize we're on
me.
opposite ends, it's just content. It's just different
Yes,
ideas. And I love
yes.
it. So we're good.
And wait. I want y'all to give your final thoughts. Trey, I'm gonna need you next week. I gotta get your information so I can start sending you stuff so I can get you up here next week. You are really good. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like what you did here. Mr. King, he ain't here. I'm gonna holler at him over Instagram. My people on Instagram, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna do the final thoughts. If you have final thoughts, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, please put them in the chat. I will see it and I'll add it to the stream later because I got a lot of editing to do. But I'll add it to the stream later. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm gonna play my video. And there's one more thing. I guess I'll say it once I do my final thought. So y'all ready for the final thoughts, guys?
Yay!
I'll be so hype about this little video. Here we go. Our final thoughts are called Dear Ladies. So here we go. All right. So who's gonna start first? You wanna start first, Chocolate? No?
I want
Okay.
to go last. I'm going to go last. Go.
Okay. Stephanie, it's on you,
All
Queen.
right, dear ladies.
Here
I'm
you
so
go.
sorry. Okay. What I learned today is just be the change you want to see, for real. Let's stop talking about it and actually be about it. Like, stop competing with the young folks. We have aged out, you know what I'm saying? And just accept it. Okay, let's start teaching the younger people and inspiring them, not beating down on them, but as Chocolate said, like, let's, be pleasant so that they'll be like, wow, there's something to relationships. There's something to marriage that looks attractive that I want to, be a part of and share my life with someone. So definitely be the change that you want to see. For the people that, want to be for the community, please step in front. Let us just go. Okay. And those that don't want to be out there, and just want to, focus on yourself, like that's fine. But, I'm going to be out there. This is why I'm on YouTube. This is why I have a public platform, is to really be a spearhead and be out there and talk to things that people they don't want to talk to or lost hope in, and just inspire people, because we do need inspiration. There's lots of crazy things going on in the world, and just trying to be a positive voice and example in these days and times is my focus. So let's be that change we want to see.
All right, that was great, Stephanie. And tell them where they can find you at your YouTube channel. I meant to say that. Steph, can you tell them that real quick?
All right, everybody. My name across platforms is the Wife School Podcast, and I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, IG. That's Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. I'll say IG, but you can find me there. It's just exactly how it's spelled, where we focus on femininity and also that is your superpower, and that you're a wife before you enter into a marriage. So, thank you.
Yes, okay. Guys, when y'all get your final thoughts, make sure they know where to find you at on all platforms. Thank you, Stephanie. That was good. All right. So who going next? We got Goddess, Jim, Ferg. Who going next?
I don't know.
You want to go first? All
I don't
right.
know. Yeah. First of all, I thank you for bringing me up and asked me to come up. And you can get my big ugly face out of the mirror. But and these conversations are definitely needed. This is a great area for us in the Black community. We've had years of dysfunction, and I'm glad to see that the younger adults, are looking to forge a different path than what we've been getting for the last 35 years. And as far as the men, now is the greatest time to expand your life and world outside of America. America has beaten us up enough. So take this opportunity to learn as much as you can about the possibility of moving around the country, even outside of the country. We all know most Black people are loyal to America. So just because you travel don't mean you ain't got to come back. Put yourself in the position that you want to be in, whether it's for yourself or for the people that come into your life. Women, again, y'all body is y'all golden ticket. So if you can learn from other women who are older who've made those mistakes, and I would appreciate if older women would have those things taught to young women because they need it. We can't have them taking on a mindset that they're just going to say elf trying to build and just be independent. It doesn't work like that. The immigrants are coming, y'all, whether y'all believe it or not, whether y'all see it or not. While we sitting here arguing about what we ain't gonna do to help each other, they sneaking right in on you. All these jobs they shipped overseas, they coming back to America. Not for you, for them new ones. They coming in for them. So if you want different, now's the time to start looking at your future and locking everything down for yourself so you can prepare your family, yourself, and those that are going to come years after you for a better way, because this way is not working. And right now we stepping in quicksand where everybody else is running. So we just got to do better, continue to have these hard conversations. Everybody hold each other accountable. Men hold men accountable. Women hold women accountable. And everybody has to hold the children accountable. So Evolution, appreciate you. Thank me. I thank you. You can find me roaming around the YouTube streets on Black Men Unfiltered on Wednesdays on the One at One Sports Show. Also, uh, with a little encouragement from others, I'll be starting my own page, and that's at Trey Ferg, the player coach. Sometime I'm the player, sometime I'm the coach, and it's going to be covering various topics on trying to just be better. Put yourself in positions as me, 56 years old, retired, ain't got to do shit. I get everything that people want, but it takes work. I just didn't do it in a couple of days. It took years. So if you put in the work, everything you want will come to fruition. But you got to put in the work. You can't talk about it. So with that, I thank my cousin, Jesus, and the head of me, my God. So thank you.
All right. That was a something sweet right there. That was good.
Where that Oscar at? I'm just messing with you, Trey. I got
Hold on.
mad love for you. I just want you to know you look
Yes,
like a
right.
genie right now because you floating
I'm
Yeah,
supposed
I'm
to
like
every
float.
a
time.
body.
I'm going to float in your
It's just
mind
your
every time you see me.
it's
I'm
your
floating in your
chain.
mind.
It's your
I'm floating in
chain.
your mind for the rest of your life. Here's me. When you sleep, you'll see this float.
Represent. Represent for the light skinned brothers. Y'all was
Yeah.
in the 90s. Y'all was
No,
in the 90s.
we never been out of
Y'all be
style.
back. Y'all be back.
We ain't never been out of style.
Yes, y'all have.
No.
All right, we gonna move on into our
Uh,
queen. Jam, you ready, Jam? Is Jam still there? There you go.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
here you go, Jam. Put you
It's
on the
kind
big
of hard
screen.
to top that one. He the bar is set. Okay. No,
Here,
but
here you go.
thank you for bringing me up. I definitely say continue to have challenging. Excuse me. I definitely say continue to have challenging conversations because they're needed. Um, if you are making a difference, be that difference. Continue to be the difference that you want to see. If people can't get with your campaign, if people are being negative, if they don't have anything to contribute to it, everybody can't grow, everybody can't go, but that doesn't stop the mission. Okay. Definitely continue to be proactive so you don't have to be reactive. Stop having frivolous sex. Get to know a person if you want to be with that person, but most importantly, get to know yourself first. Heal from the things that contribute to you as a person that may not be in your best or forthcoming. So that way, other people don't have to heal from getting to know you. And maybe that could be a step in the right direction. If you are free spirited, have a balance. So that way, you're not too free spirited to where you've lost complete direction. Structure is important. So if you have a good influence in your life, ask for advice, ask for help. If you need a safe space, definitely find one. And just continue to be the great people that you are. The end.
All right. And where can they find you, Jam?
Okay, I'm only on Instagram. I'm Jam there, 1J, 8A's, 1M, all the dramatics included.
I know that's it. Yes. All right. Yeah. All right. We doing great. All right. Next up, we got Goddess. You ready, Goddess?
I am.
All right. Here we go.
Dear ladies, never be afraid to be the voice that's different in the room. It doesn't mean that you're arguing, it just means that you're challenging perspectives. It's very important that we give people the option to make choices. It's not about a competition. We all come with our own experiences and our own set of wisdoms. It's important that we have these conversations as shared. However, it's also important that we take some time to do some self reflection because we're missing our opportunity because we're so focused on the wrong things. Um, and then that's it. I'm sorry, awkward ending, but I am available. I am on all social platforms under Goddess to a Demon. My podcast is currently under construction. I've got a new concept idea I'm working on. Other than that, I am more on Instagram than other platforms.
All right, all right, great job. Y'all are doing great with this. All right, and next up, last but not least, I'm gonna go after you, Chocolate. We got the Queen Chocolate. You ready?
You know, I stay ready.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Here we go.
Dear ladies, have some motherfucking fun in your life. Go outside, go sit in a swing, go get a hug, go get your nails done, whatever you need to do to love who you are. It's hard out here, especially in this society, right? Like there's so many things that you could be doing, so many paths that I've opened up. And I'm proud. I'm a proud black woman. And there are men I am proud of, black men. And it has nothing to do, I'm not a pick me, I'm not none of that. You don't want to pick me. I'm gonna tell you that up straight. I want to see people have joy in their life, wherever that comes from, so that you can, and peace, so that you can take a moment and see the beauty and the love that's around you. And if you don't have that, go get it. Fight for it so you can have it for yourself. Love yourself, ladies and gentlemen. But to my sisters, love everything about you, from the top of your head down to your ashy feet, if that's the case. And it's okay to be hyped about who you are. It's okay to look in the mirror and be like, I'm a bad one, baby. Because we need to do that. And do that for someone you know. Shit, give somebody a compliment. Give them their flowers before they leave here. Whether they're your friend or your man or your mama, your whatever. Say what's on your mind. Because we live moment to moment and it can be over in a matter of seconds. So I want to just say shout out to all the ladies on the panel, to the gentlemen on the panel. Mad love, evolution. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy I was able to make it, and I'll be crazy again next Thursday. Where you can reach me, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. It's all Chocolate Earth. If you type in Chocolate Earth Foundation, you'll find me. Um, like I said, not to drag it out too long, I want to see change. And I know that I have to be the first one to make that move if I want to see it. So I look forward to next Thursday and much love to you all. And I hope y'all have a great week. Thank you.
All right, y'all killed this. This is gonna be great because y'all know I'm gonna clip all this stuff up and use it for promo. So I got y'all doing stuff strategic. I do this. Right? So now I guess it's my turn. I usually wouldn't put myself on the big screen. I feel like that's a little not humble, but why not? I'm gonna throw myself up there. Y'all ready for this? All right, here we go. Hey, all my social media friends and family. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Tonight was something that I set out to do. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't think I could do because I've been listening to a lot of the naysayers. When I asked my queens, please support me. I ain't have to ask but one time. Please support me. Please come out. Talk to me. I ain't have to say it but one time. So that show you the strength and the unity of Black women, the thing that you don't see. The stuff that you won't see, on the TVs and the magazine, on social media, queens are, not even arguing, but disagreeing and still finding a way to come back together. You know what I'm saying? And be in a community. That's all I wanted. I have been so happy tonight, even with all the technical issues. It was still a beautiful show. And every time I look at this show, I'm going to look at the queens that was on this show. I'm going to look at my friends on Instagram. I'm going to look at everybody that left a comment. And I'm going to know that if I put my mind to it and have God there with me and people that support me, I could do anything. I feel like I'm unstoppable tonight. You get what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. And it's nothing special about me. It's the fact that I step out there on faith. You get what I'm saying? And I want to bring my people with me. It's the only difference. You get what I'm saying? I love all y'all. I could not do this without y'all. This is my love letter to everyone that supports me on everything, every day. You get what I'm saying? If you just laughed at a joke, you know what I'm saying? If you just had my back on anything, whatever it was, I appreciate it. And I don't always get a chance to say it. This right here is my baby. You get what I'm saying? I've tried to do other things and they may not have worked out. You get what I'm saying? And guess what? I'm going to keep on trying. And I want the young queens that see this, the young kings, you could do anything. You get what I'm saying? Our Black skin is so powerful and so feared. That should make us want to get up. You know what I'm saying? And do something bigger and better. Because we can do it. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say one more thing. Tonight, if you look back over this video, my name was said a couple of times, right? So I decided next week, because for some reason, evolution is always in a conversation. Somebody always said it. I may just give away a cash prize if somebody could tell me how many times it was said. You get what I'm saying? Because I don't mind giving back to the community. I could do it through my company. And I just think it's just a good idea. You get what I'm saying? I was shocked at how many times y'all said evolution. And I love to hear the name. I love to hear my own name. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And again, this was the Live Ladies podcast. No, it's not my podcast. It's all the ladies podcast. There is no one above the other. You got what I'm saying? We all own this podcast right here. On Thursday nights, every Thursday night at 6 p.m., we are going to be here. We're going to be telling it like it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, when the ladies go live, that's when you hear the real speak. You know what I'm saying? So we are out. Let me get everybody back on the screen.
Just real quick, I just have to point out how everybody says that evolution doesn't have a soft girl side. We all just witnessed it. Can we give her a clap, ladies? Because we did
Thank
just
you.
witness.
That's right.
Yes.
Listen,
Yes.
listen. I get it. I get it, sis. But we are soft too. Usually the
Yes.
softest people, but that's great. But if that's it, you're right. Everyone is the vulnerability. We need to have that to get through this. We need each other. You don't have to agree with me all the time. We don't have to agree 100%. But let's be real, you don't do nothing alone. If the people before us hadn't created this, then what would we be doing?
Yes, and we
right?
look so good on
Somebody,
the screen as a community. We look amazing.
right?
I've been looking at
I
it from all
mean,
different,
yes,
social media
we
platforms. I'm
have,
like, this
yes.
is what we need to do this. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't understand. Like it is right, and I do agree with Trey. Even though he looked like, did anybody ever see Ghostbusters 2 when the painting was the man was coming out the painting? You
Right.
know what
What
I'm
this
talking
is?
about?
I don't think it was that it.
What?
He had a
Yes,
nice long wig with a ponytail.
yes.
Yeah, he's
His
perfect.
name, his name was Vigo in the movie. That's what I'm gonna start calling
Wow.
Trey Fred.
Come on.
His name is Vigo now. That is it.
You're
But
right.
anyway,
Yes. Maybe not you
it don't it don't make it no better. So
Oh,
thank you. I
Yes.
ordered mine.
Have a good night, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.
It was so cool talking to y'all. All right, have a good one tonight, ladies.
Yay.
Trey,
Good
Bye.
night,
mad
y'all.
love.
I'm never asking a lot, I'm only needing one thing. Don't need the jewels and the pearls and all the things in between. I need a lot of your time, and I be needing attention. Need that next level love, boy, you know I'm feeling ascension. I'm feeling ascension, I see what we're missing. Put some clothes on, baby, can we go to a dinner? Let's go to a movie, for just us two. Let's make new memories between me and you. Pills, check, beat, check. Run up the check, baby, tell me what's next. Hey, love, check. Fun, check. One-on-one, baby, we needed this. It's a day night. Get dressed, let's get dressed, let's. It's a day night. No stress, no. No stress, no. It's a day night. Get dressed, let's get dressed, let's. It's a day night. No stress, no. No stress, no. Know you needed my time, and I'm needing you too. Fly me out to dinner, reservation for two. I can't even deny, I ain't even gon' lie, that you really got my heart. Tonight it's a whole vibe. Tonight it's about us, riding round Billy truck. Know they faces is stuck, unconditional love. Tonight we gon' make some memories, ain't thinking about our enemies. Pop out and we make a scene and drop about 300 beans. Hills, check, beat, check. Run up the check, baby, tell me what's next. Hey, love, check. Fun, check. One-on-one, baby, we needed this. It's a day night. Get dressed, let's get dressed, let's. It's a day night. No stress, no. No stress, no. It's a day night. Get dressed, let's get dressed, let's. It's a day night. No stress, no. No stress, no.